welcome to the EST Hangout.
This is the EST Hangout, and today's guests are...
A good Tuesday morning to you. Well, for some Oiler fans, maybe it's not a good Tuesday morning to you, but welcome to the EST Hangout live here on Edmonton Sports Talk, EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Tune in iHeartRadio as well as those watching on YouTube. There's a lot to discuss today on the show. Matt Iwanyk, Zacticum, and Bearcat Dean with us once again. Nasty Club member number
15.
15. I thought I was going to say 13 for a second there. We're with you here to discuss all the news of the day, which includes the Edmonton Oilers not matching the offer sheets of Dylan Holloway and Philip Broberg, and the Edmonton Sports Talk crew announcing Hernan and Joaquin Gage in the afternoons.
It's safe to say it balances us out. Balances the day out,
Yeah,
right?
100%.
It's the biggest news in Edmonton sports today, along with the offer sheet, but it's exciting. What an announcement it was, too. Just live on air, having the breaking news segment. I don't think anybody thought that was going to happen. What an exciting thing. Moment of the year. Could be up there, right? I mean, there was a couple of them.
Yeah, it's a good late entry.
Late entries are always a good one. Sometimes they just sneak in there. Of course, EST's happening September 17th down at the Garneau. Rented that out. You can get tickets by emailing Matt at Edmontonsportstalk.com. $10 just to really, cover the funds to run it, giving away trophies to nasties and hosts alike for shows and stuff. What was the big thing today? It was moments of the year and one other thing. There was a big four. Just that one, yeah. Moments of the year. So if you have an EST moment of the year, let us know what you think it was. To run it, give it away.
Whoa.
Maddie's got to check the board.
No, I had the YouTube running, but there was no audio coming through my phone.
Oh, what?
And so I was very confused that maybe we didn't have audio running on YouTube. And so that's why I was kind of like just tuned out there, is that like I had my computer or my phone maxed out and nothing was playing. And I was very confused. So there, I got it finally going. But sorry, continue.
Yeah, no. How are we sounding, by the way? Because there's been some adjustments. We got a different board in here, swapped them over. Of course, all the other shows are sounding crisp. People have said that. All the nasties have texted in. But the Hangout is a bit of a work in progress. Still trying to tinker it out, especially with different guests being a little bit quieter or louder. So
Yeah, you're very loud.
Oh, sometimes I like getting loud. Usually I'm a pretty quiet guy. I don't know. Once I get in front of a
all
mic,
of a sudden I'm like, who's this dude? Who the hell are you all of a sudden?
Yeah, exactly, right?
You just got to bring that a little closer. I think we're good.
Okay.
I think we're good.
All right.
But yeah, that moment of the year, that's actually, that would have to be a nominee. I'd have to throw in there.
Oh, for sure.
We will get fully into the moment of the year later in the show, because we got to discuss that a lot. And then Hernan's going to jump in a little bit here. He's going to jump in right now. No, he's going to jump out here quickly. I'll have to zoom things out. We won't talk much about the announcement. I want to get his take on the Oilers and what happened today, because I don't know if you guys heard. The Edmonton Oilers have not matched Philip Broberg and Dylan Holloway offer sheets. Those two guys are now members of the St. Louis Blues. The Oilers did make a separate deal in that as well. They got another third-round pick in
28?
20. I was going to say 28. I want to pull up the player's name that they also acquired. So they worked out a deal with the Blues of, we're not going to match, but you send us a little bit more compensation. Paul Fisher, the rights to defenseman Paul Fisher, as well as a third-round selection 2028. The Oilers also get that in this deal. But Broberg, Holloway, no longer members of the Edmonton Oilers.
Got another one.
And there's Hernan. And you want to give a little talk into that mic, make sure it's working?
Test 1 2 1 2.
There we go. Hopefully that sounds all right. Firstly, how was the morning for you? How was that announcement?
It was good. It was good. It was a relief. It's been something that, it's just, I was waiting for it to just get out there. I had a lot of people asking me and family asking, well, when is it going to be announced? So very excited. Couldn't ask for a better guy to co-host with than Joaquin Gage. And grateful to you and Dusty and the whole group here for bringing me back on. It's great. It's the same thing when I left TSN to go to the Elks. It's the same thing with the Elks. Leaving the Elks to come here is tough because that's a great organization, great people. I have a lot of good friends there. And I'll still be there and supporting the team. And those guys are friends for life. And it was tough, but I still got 2 weeks there, so I don't want to say official goodbyes just yet. A lot of work to be done, but very excited. Very excited, so...
Which
Back
means-
with you, Maddie.
Yeah, you're stuck. You're stuck with me. You sat down in my office last week.
Yeah.
And it just felt nice, like, because it's like when we're back at the old place where you, me, and JMO in our office, we'd sit there and talk. But it's great having you back. Couldn't think of a better addition back to this team because we love you and we want you here. Now we could get the Tecmo going really for sure. Look, I want to bring the Tecmo back. Because if Dusty feels and you feel you're so great, take the title from me.
I don't feel I'm great. I said I've been struggling low, but we probably have Zach and Trevor join in now, so the league would probably get bigger. And,
we destroy them.
Oh, the young guys?
Yeah.
We destroy them. You have no idea how. Like, I always say this with that Tecmo machine and where our old place. We perfected that through COVID. Like, that's all we did at that station.
Yes, we did.
We played Tecmo Super Bowl. And it was like 10 to 12, I remember. Everyone knew that the four of us were playing it. Like, if anyone else wanted to play in this communal game, they couldn't between those 2 hours because it was our time.
There was 4,000 games on this machine, and we only played one.
Yes.
That's insane.
Like, and it was perfect because Dusty and Yukon's morning show ended at 10. I didn't start till 12, and you were doing work behind the scenes for that time. So it was like a perfect time. And all you do is you walk up and I'm like, game? Yeah, let's do it. And then we'd go and we'd play. We perfected it. Yeah. Like, we were so good at them. We learned all the little small details that I could play, honestly, I feel like anyone. Like 15, 16 times, and I will kick your ass in all of those.
If you're wondering why Bell made the decision they made, this could be it.
Maybe. And
I could
they
play.
They took the machine out too.
Of those 50, once we got fired, they took the machine. Yeah. Of those 15, 16 games, I could play, or Hernan could play with the worst team, and we'll give you the best team, and we'll still beat you. Now, if I went with the worst team against Hernan and gave him the best team, he'd kick my butt. Because there was a big difference. When you're playing with the Colts versus the Cowboys or the Bills, it wasn't even close.
Yeah. And we found a way around that where if you got a bad team, you had to play, like, because if you're the Dallas Cowboys against the Patriots, it can be
the quarterback? Zepkes or something.
Zolak.
So he was awful.
Yeah.
Zolak, but there's a lot of good teams. A lot of
wasn't Barry Sanders like
that was a different version. That was a different version.
No,
we didn't have the. Oh no, not Barry Sanders.
Bo Jackson.
I was thinking Bo Jackson. Barry Sanders was insane.
Barry Sanders is
you couldn't tackle.
Yeah.
Emmett Smith. Is it Thurman Thomas? Top 3 running back for
Who's
sure.
the guy with the Saints?
No, that he was.
No, the linebacker. There's a linebacker with the Saints. I loved playing with him.
Really good.
Because the Saints were, to me, an underrated team where just because of that guy, I could stop anyone's offense. And I just need to get lucky on offense, one good drive, and I'm winning that football.
But everybody had like that mid-tier team that they played well with.
Yes.
I was good with the Green Bay Packers for some reason. And they were like a mid-tier team.
You almost beat me in the finals with them because you would just throw it deep.
Yeah.
Favre would throw it deep and sharp.
That's when he was a rookie, and Reggie White was just so quick off the line. It was great.
Now,
it's such a fun game.
We need to bring that back just so we can keep going with this.
Honestly, it sounds very much like you need to bring that back.
Well,
the passion is permeating.
Well, I know it's funny because everyone else at the place, like, they just let us do it. Like, and we would scream like angry about when we'd mess up a play.
Is this in the foyer at?
This was in where the engineer's office used to be. We took it out. It became a jock lounge.
Okay.
Like we would leave like so after the show, I'd sometimes play Maddie before I went home, and if I lose the whole way home, I'd be mad and rethinking like, why did I call that play? Like it affected you.
Or there was the Tecmo gods, we call them, because sometimes things would happen that just didn't make sense, and you would get mad because the Tecmo gods were against you in that one game, and you're just mad. It was a fun, but like. I don't know. Like people just let us like do it. Like we would scream and no one got upset.
No.
Everyone just let it happen. I remember one time one of my bosses even came and it's like, Matt, when you're done with this, can I see you for a chat? Like, because he just wanted to talk business with me. And I was like, Bav, I could pause the video game to come talk to you about business, but appreciate you having concern about our Tecmo game here. Like,
and then we set it up to the big screen we had in there, and people would come in and sit and watch the games.
Yes.
Right? It was just
the place just let us do our thing, and it was wonderful. And we had a trophy. We played 4 seasons. I had the greatest season in Tecmo history. I only lost 9 times.
Okay, but wait.
We played everyone 16 times.
Dusty was on a streak. I think what was it, like 40 straight games he won.
Lose.
And then UConn beat him, and we popped champagne.
UConn?
No way.
Yeah.
Well, UConn wasn't bad at it, and he got worse. But I had a bottle of champagne for some reason, so I brought it to work. I'm like, once somebody finally beats Dusty, we're popping this. And UConn beat him.
Out of all people, UConn beats, and we popped champagne.
And we were drinking champagne in the afternoon because finally someone beat Dusty. Great time. So we're gonna have to bring that back here.
Yeah, no doubt. I don't know where the old machine went because
The people that gave it to us took it back.
I don't know if a lot of work will get done, so we might have to have a period where we're allowed to play. Because trust me, it was
I don't see a whole lot of work getting done around here. So
It's great. Yeah. Well, we'll have to get that done though, because I want my trophy. I want to defend my title. I want to defend my trophy. Like I do. I won it 2 straight times. And I had like legitimately the greatest season in our Tecmo history. I had 9 losses and we played everyone 16 times. I was owning that season.
I think I finished last that year.
No, because you came in, that was the year you went to the finals. You had the run in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And you almost took me down in game 3 of our best of 3 series.
Yeah, that's right.
So I almost had the Golden State Warriors 73 wins, but blew it in the championship game. But yeah, we're very excited. 1 to 3 EST afternoons. Hernan Salas, Joaquin Gage. Maybe we'll do.
Tecmo.
Maybe actually, I will throw this out there. A couple of times in my sports updates, I did throw Tecmo scores in there.
No way.
We even live streamed a few games.
Yes.
Seriously.
On Twitch.
Oh yeah, we went on Twitch, but I would go and be like, well, the Hampton Goats, Dusty was the Hampton Goats, took down the Sherwood Park Elite with the New York Giants, and I'd read Tecmo scores in my sports.
I was the Chilean
Dave loved it.
Seabass.
I was the Northside Grind because I grinded football games. I would run the ball and grind it down.
You're like the Elks.
So
Yeah.
running
if you
the
have an
ball.
audience like you did this morning on the morning show, and Dusty says to the nasties, "Hey, I need a Tecmo," you'll have 3 offers.
Well,
But it has to be that version of the game.
it has to be the Super
be.
Nintendo, and
Yeah.
it has to be a stand-up with the buttons, not the controller.
Yeah.
No controller?
So Scouts with the Elks herd, he mentioned last summer that he does like build those type of things, and we never went anywhere with that.
Why don't we just go to the same guy?
That scout. Nice guy.
Sam Mills.
Sam Mills. He was so good.
Thank you to whoever texted that in. Sam Mills.
Sam
on the Saints. It was
Mills.
Sam Mills. I was a beast with Sam Mills.
But you know what? The New Orleans Saints had like 3 good linebackers in that game.
They had a
You can
good
go to
defense.
3, yeah.
And the offense was okay.
This is riveting
Well,
stuff.
so there was like, I can't remember how many teams were in that game. I think there's 24 teams or something. We broke it down in categories. There was like your top 4. Then there was another tier of like 6 teams. And then there was another tier. And then there was just your trash. But I like the Cardinals. I like the Seahawks. I was good with the Seahawks. I know a lot of people didn't like
the
the
Cardinals
Seahawks.
had Garrison Hurst, who's a really good running back.
So
Yes,
what
he
roster
was.
would that have been? For that game?
1991. August 1991 or 93?
No, it was 93.
93.
93? Okay.
Yeah.
That's what we always remember.
And we had it
August
printed out of all the rosters and their ratings, so you can make substitutions and set your lineup.
So we
and-
learned how to change plays, but then we
I'm
also
excited now. Like, I want to see this. I
we
just wanna
learned
see
how
the
to
game.
put like we eventually put the worst like our running back in like a wide receiver spot and taking a speedy wide receiver and putting a running back so you could throw to the receiver in the back. Like we were messing with it all. It was great.
Yeah, it take like 15 minutes to get a game going because of all the changes we were making, and
you could only make them at certain times. Like if you wanted to switch your punt return or kick return, you have to be on offense.
Yeah.
So if you forget to do it when you're on offense, when you're later, you're like, crap, I'm not going to get my kick return. And you had to put, was it Woodson?
Rod Woodson from
I
the
think he had to be
Pittsburgh
put in.
Steelers, amazing returner. Like he took it to the house a lot of times. Yeah,
Jeez.
don't kick it to him if you ever play.
Okay.
Seriously,
No, I'm
squib
taking notes
kick it.
right now. They're all up here. I'll have to study the game because I've heard this great stories and I've been in that jock. I've seen the machine. I tried playing NHL, I think, on it. Like some games didn't work, but I never played Tecmo. I've heard
There's
the
other
stories,
great
though.
games on there. We
Yeah,
just always played
1,400
Tecmo,
games
yeah.
or 400 games.
And you had like what was it? 4 different systems because you can play Sega, Super Nintendo.
There was Sega, Super Nintendo, regular
Atari.
Nintendo, Atari.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Did we say Sega? Yeah.
Yeah, and then they had an
and then there
arcade
was the
version.
arcade versions, and there was a couple others. So like you could play Golden Tee. There was a lot of games on there. You'd play Jam sometimes with Connor.
Yeah, me and Connor Halley would always play NBA Jam. That was good.
But then
yeah.
beyond that, it was Tecmo Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And that
Could
was
you get one of
on
those mini
SNES.
ones,
No,
right?
we want
No?
that big
It
machine.
has to be the
And we
big
also had a
machine.
cutout because
Okay.
of COVID, so it stood in between.
But it worked out good because then you weren't seeing what the guy was calling, like play wise.
Because if you
yeah,
call
like-
the same play, it's a
yeah.
blitz.
Yeah, automatic
That's how you get a
blitz.
blitz. And it's usually a sack.
So it kind of worked out
Dean is
perfect.
so like, oh my god.
No, I mean, I haven't played that game since 1990, whatever.
Yeah.
But I geeked out with my friends in the same way on different games. Like we
Yeah.
used to have Sega, was it NHL 91, and we used to play Goon games with the Rangers because they had Domi, Chris King,
Yeah. Chris King. Yeah.
a couple other guys, right? And you would just start fights and it would be insane, right? So I get it. Like, yeah, I'm just a little older, so it's different games.
Like what? I don't want to put you on the spot, but how much older are you than Yukon Jack?
How old is Yuke? I don't even
Yuke's
know.
got to be.
He put it this way. I
don't even
remember
know
when
you
he
could
was
be.
hired at the Bear because I was working for Warner Music when he started
okay.
on the pro.
Yuke's a
team.
legend, man.
So I got a few years on him.
Okoye.
Oh, with the
With the
Chiefs.
Chiefs. Oh, the Chiefs. were
Excellent,
fun.
yeah.
I
I couldn't play well with them.
I was about to say, I
Yeah.
actually didn't do as well with them. Yeah, Dusty and Uke were. The one team I never actually really played with was the Eagles with Cunningham.
Eagles are
You guys
great.
were all good with them.
So was
I'm
it
good.
random teams or did you always pick?
So
We drafted.
Well, so how it first started was we did a random. You move the joystick around, you don't look, and someone yells stop, and that's what you get. And then
Classic,
we
yeah.
threw teams. We wrote them out and put them in a drawer, and you had to pick them out of a drawer.
Okay.
And then we got to the end where we did a draft, and you drafted your teams. We had 4 or 5 rounds or whatever it was, and you drafted your teams. And then we had a wheel that you spun, and whatever number you spun on was the round that you had to go to. Okay, 5th, number 5, I have to go. Which team did I draft in the 5th round?
Yeah.
It keeps getting deeper and deeper.
We
yeah.
kept evolving it. No, 100%. And then in the playoffs, it was you got to pick your team.
Okay.
So you got to bring 3 teams with you to the playoffs. You weren't stuck with your worst team, but you got to pick 3 teams. And it was a big unveiling of one year I think I took my 4th round team and not my 3rd round team. And it was like this big thing. Oh, I didn't take. So yeah, no, we kept evolving it in those ways. So that's coming to the behind the scenes of Edmonton Sports Talk. Before we let you go,
There might be a documentary.
Oilers offer sheet thoughts.
Yeah, tough day.
Not matching.
Tough day. I mean, the way Broberg came in and played in the playoffs, I think for me that was such a big deal for the Edmonton Oilers. A few defensemen were struggling for the Oilers in that run, and for him to come in and step in the way he did, and all the time he put in with him, I think it's tough. But yeah, I don't know. I'll be honest, I don't know much about Ty Emberson. I mean, reports that people that have actually watched him, because I'll be honest, I don't think I have.
He's played 30-some games in the NHL, 38 or something like that.
Exactly. He was
flat.
30
Yeah.
flat?
Just 30, yeah.
He was drafted in 2018, played 3 years at Wisconsin, but 3 years in the AHL. So there's a reason for that. So I'm not, until I get to see him play, I really can't say much. But I don't think this D-core is as good as the one that finished the Game 7.
it's not.
There definitely has to be more to come, I would think. But I also don't know, because I had a bunch of buddies we were chatting this morning. They're like, there's got to be a trade, or they got to sign a top 4 defenseman. But if you're going to do that, it's going to be for the same or more money that Broberg was being offered, right? So, why not just match the Broberg offer sheet? So I don't think there's much coming right now for the Edmonton
It's
Oilers.
August 20th.
Exactly.
There's nothing.
And that's the thing. Can this D-core survive till March?
Yeah, I think.
I mean, Josh Brown, I think, is a step back. Stetcher is kind of a wild card for me. Emberson is a wild card because you don't know. So I think they're not as strong as they were last year. And even last year, the D-core struggled at times, and a few guys struggled in the playoffs. So for me, it's an interesting time for the Edmonton Oilers. And I mean, if you're the big boys of the core of this team, and you're looking at what the Oilers have done here lately, and you're like, have we gone better on the back end? And you haven't. And that's just the honest truth. So I think there's more to come. I just don't think it's coming in the next month or so.
I'm still confused about when they traded Ceci. I'm like, okay, well, they're going to match one of them. And they'll probably match Broberg because Holloway you can afford to lose. And I also think they were kind of pissed at Holloway for boxing them in.
I'm still surprised that Holloway did this.
Yeah.
And I don't want to look. I understand he's getting more money, but how much more money are you getting over 2 years?
Yeah.
And you're giving up the chance to be with
To
the
win a
Oilers,
cup.
win a cup.
Yeah.
And if you play well enough, you're going to get that money still. This isn't like you're later in your career and you
No.
haven't produced.
Yeah, I get
I never
what
understood-
Broberg and his agent did.
Yes.
Totally get it. I understand it. I don't understand Holloway.
Well, but the one story we have heard a little bit is that Holloway was kind of convinced by his agent to do this. And I wonder if maybe his agent, and I hope this isn't the case for Dylan Holloway's sake, I wonder if the agent said, don't worry, the Oilers are going to match. We're just getting you more money. And also now he's not an Edmonton Oiler going, whoa.
Yeah.
Was that worth it? I hope there's no, if there's going to be a player that's going to have regret in this, it could
It'll
be
be
Dylan
him.
Holloway. And I hope he doesn't, because if he was led down the wrong path, I feel bad because he might be watching the Edmonton Oilers win a cup and going, I could have been part of that.
But the Oilers have no one to blame but themselves. Like they can't be mad at.
Sure.
They can't. I hope they didn't approach this and took it personal because no, it's part of the rules. You can offer sheet anyone you want, and good work by the St. Louis Blues. And the narrative out there I saw this morning from a lot of smart Edmonton media is that they're kind of doing this for cap relief. So that's where I'm at the point where it's like they're not bringing anyone in. Because if you're bringing a top 4 defenseman in, it's going to be at least from $3 to $6 million. But wait, hold on. But sorry, Matty, I know it's true. But so then why wouldn't you just sign Broberg if you want that cap relief? So that's why I think they're not bringing anyone in. Because it makes no sense then.
The other way to look at this potentially, are we going to see PTOs? Tyson Barrie's not signed. Justin Schultz isn't signed.
Okay.
Is there a couple other defensemen? And I'm not saying you sign them necessarily.
No.
Do you give them a PTO,
100%.
bring them in? And is Tyson Barrie good enough to play for a year or two with the Oilers' top
I think
pair?
Stetcher's better than him.
Oh, okay, but Stetcher goes up in the top 4 then, but is Tyson Barrie good enough then for your bottom pair? Or is Justin Schultz? I don't fully know.
Well,
but they could cost you
50 games.
They're going to cost you, what, $1 1.2 or something, and if you don't like what they're doing, you throw them in the minors.
Yeah.
You eat up $850 off the cap, but in the end, you still have all this cap space. I think Puckpedia had it right now. They'd have $400.4 million cap space at the deadline. That could bring you a nice player.
Yeah. That's
For sure. Because you're set up front. Like, and that's why I think, listen, Dylan Holloway, yeah, good young player, skates well, scored some big goals in the playoffs. But for me, like, he was never going to be a top line guy.
No,
at best, maybe a second line. But he's probably on a Stanley Cup team, a third line guy. So, I mean, it hurts, to lose a guy like that, so young and with so much upside. But I think the big one for the Oilers is Broberg. I mean, at least for me, the way he played in the playoffs is just... Damn, you're gonna go see him. He's probably, and I know St. Louis media is saying he's gonna play with Parayko. That's a really good pairing. And I mean, again, Broberg's a small sample size in the playoffs. I get it, but if he takes off, man, we're gonna be sitting here, and Edmonton Oilers fans are gonna be pretty upset if this guy becomes a legit top 4 guy.
I said somewhere either on the chat or maybe it was the last hangout I did that I predict Broberg would have been the 3rd on the Oilers depth chart by the end of the year.
Yeah.
And so I can't walk that back now because he's gone. But also, it's a huge gamble to pay him the money they're paying him this year.
But it's only 2 years though, right?
Yeah, but right. So then it costs you a 2nd round pick if you don't.
Yeah.
If you don't give him an RFA offer after 2 years. It's a good gamble by now. But the Oilers couldn't match that.
Yeah.
See, and this is where I think the Oilers should have matched it still, in that I would have rather... Broberg plays well this year. Things are good. You trade him next August. You make that agreement. You just let him know, like, we're going to trade you next year. We just need to get a better than a 2nd round pick.
So CC was just traded for cap relief.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that just happened because they finally found a trade for Cody Ceci. Right. People would have loved the Cody Ceci trade a month ago.
What was the pick? 3rd?
Yeah, 3rd round.
Yeah.
28.
Okay.
Oh no, you're saying for Ceci?
Yeah.
They gave with him.
3rd round pick.
3rd next year then.
3rd next year. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and then losing Dylan Holloway and Philip Broberg, a 2nd and essentially 2 thirds.
Yeah.
Right, because of the extra pay, the trade after with the future considerations, but that's not until 2028. So,
to your point, it was a sneaky good move getting that 3rd because that 3rd at the deadline is worth quite a bit, right? And you can get that top 4 guy at the deadline.
Yeah.
Because you have the cap. Any of the 3rd, like they got 2 thirds from St. Louis, right?
Yeah, 2028. That's not going to have a lot of cachet right now.
It's still a pick.
But the 2nd and the 3rd give you something.
Yeah.
And I think I believe they have a 1st in 2026. I think.
Yeah, because they traded the one. Well, no, they traded
Philly
the one
gets this year's pick because the Oilers traded up this year or whatever.
They traded.
There's all
for
those
the
confusing
32nd.
trades.
And that 1st round pick will get traded this year.
Right, but you got a 1st, 2nd, 3rd to play with to see what they can do.
I mean, Emberson's going to get a hell of a shot here.
I don't
Throw him in
know
the fire,
anything
right?
about him.
Yeah, like, and I know a lot of people saying he's top defenseman in the AHL for his team and all that. There's a big difference in that. So, yeah, and listen,
Well,
again.
so is Broberg, though.
Yeah,
For
but
most of the year. That's what he
exactly. Broberg showed well when he came in the Dallas series and in the finals. So he's got a little bit more like, okay, this guy can do it, right? But again, I I've never seen Emerson play, so I'm not going to sit here and act like I can only go off what people are saying about him that I've actually watched him, and that's a lot of San Jose media. So I hope it works out. I mean, he's only 24 years old. Looks like he's a stay-at-home. He's not going to put up a lot of offensive points, but you don't need that, right? The Oilers need more guys that can sit back and defend well and move the puck quickly. So we'll see what happens there.
Can I ask you an Elk question?
Sure.
What's the feeling like? Like, how long did you know that like Thompson was going to be the owner? And has it changed in the building? Is it given it a breath or a shot or?
No,
wondering.
The staff there wasn't. Things were going on, a lot of NDAs. So like we were updated on certain things, but we weren't until it was announced. Like we met him the morning of, and
okay.
Yeah, and he was in Hamilton.
I saw that on the broadcast.
He's a great man, and he, a man of few words, but he's great, and it's so fresh and new that and I think more than anything, the 3 wins have
Trey Ford
have everybody pretty excited in the organization. So the team's playing well, and we're in Montreal this weekend, so we'll see if we can beat the top team in the CFL, who just got a lot better with Mr. Mack joining them.
I don't want some of my fantasy people to hear about Austin Mack.
I'm pretty sure they know.
I don't know. I'm just hoping.
Yeah. Eric's on vacation.
And McCord is McCord. If they don't pick up Austin Mack,
Eric could be in an open.
I don't want to be discussing this more because Luke might try to get one of them to do something. I'm rebuilding my team on the fly, and it's been great. I was telling Dean about it earlier. Green and Gold kickoff show, 4:00 Sundays. We'll get you set for Elks and Owls coming this fall now. Tuesday after Labor Day. We've got 6 to 6 programming, 1 to 3 EST afternoons with Hernan and Walking Gage, just announced this morning, and then it's the Reed Wilkins show with Jay Milne from 3 until 6. Hernan, I'll let you go because you got things to do and you got to go to work.
I got to go to work. Yeah. Thank you.
It's great having you back. It's going to be great working with you again, and we'll try to maybe get you on the Hangout like once a month or something.
Yeah, that'd be great. Look forward to working with Zacticum.
It's gonna be
good to see you.
Yeah, you'll get to see me. I'll be around.
All right.
We got to get the Tecmo now. Now it's official. Like it's always been official, unofficially official.
Now it's official.
But now it has to happen because
it does.
I have to see this tournament, and live streaming it would be a huge thing as well.
Yeah, we never fully got it live streamed the way that we now with the YouTube, it'd be easy to plug this all in and do it. We have the technology here to do it even more, so it'd be ridiculous. We had a big whiteboard. It wasn't the Sherwood-Ford one that we had, the big board that we had. Like it was another big whiteboard that we had, and we put all of our scores down. And then I took pictures of it and printed it off and put it on a board to keep the records because we'd have to wipe it off because we filled out the space. And then Dusty, I told him because he was going in one day to the place after we were let go. I was like, grab the stats. Like I want the history of it. And he grabbed them, but he never gave them to me. And I think he threw them all away.
What?
So some of our stats might not be there, but I might have some of them in my Google Drive somewhere. But I kept the history of our 4 seasons. Every game was accounted for, including I destroyed UConn one game. I just everything he did was wrong. Everything I did turned into a touchdown. I beat him 59-0 or something.
Oof.
Oh, it was great.
It's brutal.
It was great. This is Hangout Headlines, brought to you by the Ranch Golf and Country Club, offering premier conditions, top-notch service, unmatched value. Book your tee time by visiting theranchgolf.com. That was Hernan Salas. He's going to be part of Edmonton Sports Talk moving forward, 1 to 3 with Walking Gage, Matt Iwanyk, Dean Belanger, Zacticum with you here right now on the Hangout, on your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Continuing to discuss the Oilers and their moves. And I would say, yes, I'm with you. When Cody Ceci was traded, it was they're matching one. Mm-hmm. So now it's kind of as the rumblings were coming yesterday, they weren't going to maybe match anyone. It's well, do they have a trade locked in? Is there a trade? I know it's been thrown out there. Anderson from Calgary.
Yeah, I've heard that a couple
times. Is that something that they're going for? Or is this straight up one of those where they're just looking at it and going, we're going to use the cap space? And because cap space is so valuable, but can you be the Oilers and have cap space going into the season? Because I'll say this, if Ken Holland was going into the season with cap space, people were going to be pissed. People are going to scream, you have to use all your cap space. If the Oilers go into the season with cap space, are people feeling the same way when it's a cup or bust situation?
Yeah, but everyone knows that if they're going to meander about through the season until they get to the deadline, then yeah, you could totally live with that. Having the picks, having the cap space, you could own the deadline. 100%. And you're going to have a bunch of players who are going to say on no movements and no trades, that's a team I want to go to, right? And then you're like, okay, well, you're worth more than a third, but I know they want to come here. I'm only going to give you a third. Right? We've seen other teams be able to do that in the past. The Oilers are going to be sitting in that catbird seat for the first time ever. It's a different thing.
I will also throw out there that they'll have Evander Kane to trade next deadline too. And is there value in that? Because his no move clause turns into a modified no trade clause, and there's like 16 teams or something, or 14 teams that he can block.
Yeah.
Based on what we've heard, like the Oilers and the camp with Kane haven't exactly seen eye to eye fully. Maybe there's that
health stuff.
I think just overall over the course of the season, we've heard enough of those rumblings that, like, to me, I would feel like they tried to move him this offseason by all accounts and couldn't get it done because they couldn't get him to waive. Well, they don't need him to waive come March 1st. And is that a valuable asset to add to this team? Because if you get to there's the two ways of looking at this. You could either look at it and be like, if you get a healthy Kane for the playoffs, what an addition that's going to be. But also, if you get to a point where the trade deadline where he hasn't been part of the team, can you get another piece that you could add to the team and be like, what an addition?
If that piece is a D-man, 100%. If that piece is a winger, I'd ride with playoff Kane any day. No, he is older and he's slowing down. That happens, right? But
are people too much focused on Kane from a few years ago? That's the thing.
Yeah.
And I think that is like...
we haven't really seen a healthy Kane in a while. How do you judge him on, like, the guy's got one or two bad hips, depending on what you read? How do you judge him on that? But the guy can score goals.
At physical, too.
Most hat tricks on the team last year, is that right? Or
was he?
His hat trick ratio was insane. Like, he's a great goal scorer. So, I'd ride with him.
And he's not fully on LTIR just yet, right?
It'll happen, though.
It will happen. It's inevitable.
Yeah.
That he's going to have the surgery, whatever is delaying it. But now going into the cap, $950K, like having him on your team, if he's good and 100%, which he wasn't for the playoffs, you could see that now he's got to get the surgery. But if he could play and carry that into the playoffs after his surgery, however long recovery takes, you could almost just stick it out and hope. But as you said, he's getting older. That's Sam Gagner had the hip surgeries as well, so it's a hard look still, whichever way you look at it for Kane. And that's been a name out there along with Ceci, who's now gone, that you could potentially move. If the most ideal thing would be to trade for a defenseman if you can move Kane. If you can move Kane that way to bring somebody else in.
Well, but with the cap space and all that, like, they could be adding 2-3 bodies at the deadline. That's what you have to be. You have to be looking at that. Like, you add a defenseman, but what else can you add if you're Jeff Jackson and Stan Bowman? By the way, Stan Bowman's going to speak to the media at 11 o'clock. 2 guys in a goalie at noon today with Dusty, Gager, and Cass. Anything that comes out of it of note, they'll definitely get to at noon today as Bowman will discuss the reasonings and rationale behind the Edmonton Oilers not matching Philip Broberg and Dylan Holloway.
So for today, it tells me that the Oilers don't care about winning the division. They know they're going to make the playoffs. They're willing to ride with this team, which is fine.
Which I love that attitude.
Yeah.
I love okay, there's the people that will say, though, that you need to have home ice advantage because that cost them this year in the playoffs. And I get that argument, but I also, like, I've seen it in the NBA enough where teams go, whatever, we're just going to get to the playoffs and we're going to then dominate in the playoffs.
Yeah.
We're going to make sure we're healthy for the playoffs. We're going to have the best team possible for the playoffs. We're going to be in the playoffs, but we're going to then just dominate. It doesn't matter who we're facing. It doesn't matter where we're going. We will win.
5 or 6, we're not going to worry about Game 7.
Yeah, we don't care. We're better than anyone that we're going to face. So, yeah, if we lose a couple of extra games in the regular season because we're just resting or getting, we're loading up behind the scenes to get ready for playoffs, and that costs us a game in February and January here, whatever. Yep. But I'm with you. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see more Kulak, and I'm okay with that. I have a lot of time for Kulak. I really like him. Playoff Kulak is one of my favorite players on the Oilers, and he can play on a soft wing. Offside.
Although I think he doesn't like it. I think that was a story from the playoffs that kind of came out when he had to go to his off wing. He did well, but he's not He doesn't feel comfortable there.
So he doesn't do it in the playoffs, but you ask him to do it in January and February, I think he'd be fine. And Stetcher is fine here and there. I don't think you can expect him to come in and play 82 games and be a top 4.
But how many people thought Stetcher should replace Cody Ceci? Going into the playoffs and once he signed, a lot of people say, well, how soon until he replaces Cody Ceci in the lineup? The loss of Cody Ceci, I don't think is as significant. There's a lot of people that are disappointed last couple of days, which to me is very revisionist because a lot of those people were the ones that were upset that Nurse was paired with Ceci and going, why Ceci on this team? You got to trade Ceci. And then also when he does get moved, it's oh no, not Ceci.
Well, yeah, it's because of the Broberg factor there too. Once they moved Ceci, I thought, okay, well, yeah, they're gonna match one of them. Now they need the defenseman. They need that Broberg there. I was shocked to see they didn't match one or the other of Holloway and Broberg. But now, as much as you can ride out the season and really. The regular season was a write-off for the last couple of years. A guaranteed playoff team, no matter which way you look at it. Unfortunately, with the start last year being last in the NHL by Thanksgiving or whatever, that now the way the team's built currently, and if they go into the season with the starting roster, they have that potential to maybe have that crappy start to the season once again, which isn't a good look either.
Zach. I've never seen a great team play that bad for that long to start a year.
I'm not going to be as definitive saying it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Well, I've said that for a lot with the Oilers of the history of they can't do that happen now. It can't happen, and it happens again. I'm just gonna. I'm not even gonna make.
You need to live stream an Oiler EST game earlier than Thanksgiving to turn their season.
If they lose game 1, game 2, we're doing a watch party. Watch along. We're not going through this again.
No, I think they'll be fine, and they'll muddle along, and they'll make the playoffs, and then they'll add a lot at the deadline,
which they need to. Of course, deadline is where you build that championship sort of team, get the last final piece or pieces to push you over the edge to solidify your spot really as the contending they lost to the Stanley Cup winners last 3 years in a row, made the final of course, but it's man, just all that work that happened, all the great things that getting Jeff Skinner and then getting Victor Arvidsson, such a great look, and it's such a huge blemish losing both Holloway and Broberg, and now having to pivot and try and build out once again and get that top 4 right-handed shot defenseman that has been the calling and the need for years now too. So it's boost that season.
They didn't lose that top 4 right-handed D-man today either. They didn't have it.
Well, and he was projected to be bottom pairing, third pairing, I think, going into the season.
Yeah.
Now, long term, maybe over the course of this season or next season, you would have liked. I think a lot of people were looking. He would be, but he wasn't there yet.
Yeah. You're not wrong in everything you just said. You're not wrong at all, right? The Oilers gambled this year that they could push it right up to the limit and no one would touch their RFAs because that happens. Every year.
It's so rare to see them.
Yeah.
I always go at the start of the year, we're not going to see offer sheet everyone. It never happens.
Right.
And I was burned this year on it, but so were the Edmonton Oilers. So was Jeff Jackson, Stan Bowman.
But they still, they're the same today as they were yesterday. They don't have a number 2 right shot D-man.
But I would say that they had a 6th defenseman that you're going to go to the season with next year. And now you're down to 4.
Yes.
And you've lost 2. And
correct.
That's where I don't mind losing Holloway. It stinks. 3rd round pick for him. I don't think is the right value for him. But the Oilers have those players. They bring in Savoy. It's okay, perfect. Well, Savoy, we'll maybe see him this season with the Oilers and stuff.
He might be
better. So it's that to me isn't the loss. I don't think long term we're going to look back and be like, that one really, really hurt this team. It's the Broberg one, I think, more so in the short term. I could sit there and be like, man, they could use just that NHL defenseman right now. Or they could use that guy right now.
Well, and he's going to become more than where he started the year, right? So that hurts as well.
And it's why, and if I see him do well this season, St. Louis will be like, well, man, could have the Oilers got a better player for him in August next year?
For sure.
To flip him. And that's where it's just I don't care about the 4.5. I care about the return on the asset. And I don't feel like it was there. And that's the only reason I'm surprised that they didn't match Philip Broberg, but what we've learned over the last number of years in the National Hockey League too, and maybe the Oilers have finally learned it. It's one that I've actually been in favor of. It's cap. Be the team that has the cap space.
Yeah.
If you don't have to spend to the cap, don't spend to the cap. It's okay, because that cap space is way more valuable, because once again, this past offseason, we saw the cap have its first sizable jump since COVID. And what did the GMs do?
They spent
it all. They just went out and spent it all.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, cool. Now you just keep spending and making problems. Be that team that is open to sit there and be like, oh, well, we'll take that. Like, yeah, maybe the Oilers will be a team at the deadline that also could do what the Lightning did for the Oilers this year and be like, we'll do a little cap retention.
We'll do a
Give us a pick.
Yeah.
Give us a pick in return, and we just get an extra asset that we could maybe flip around for something like that. We've got the cap space to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. I've always felt that way, but I mean, everyone's always got to spend to the cap, and then you look at Puckpedia and you've got, I don't know, 65-70% of the teams all spending to the cap.
The only one is like Detroit has a lot of cap space, but they have to sign someone. I forgot who it was. I'd have to go look.
Raymond, Lucas Raymond, I think.
But they've got like 16 mil or something.
Yeah.
They're decent. They're decent in cap space. Like, they've spent some money in other places on Detroit, but those are one of the teams where you have that space. I hate trying to watch teams like finagle the cap and pinch those pennies to try and make those moves, and that's an option for the Oilers potentially to bring that asset in. That's always there. I mean, what now? It's a 2nd, 3rd, 6th, and 7th for next year's draft.
Yeah.
With the new assets essentially swapped for Broberg and Holloway. So big trade pieces. Rasmus Andersson, like that.
I know Trev doesn't like that one.
He hated it when he brought it up yesterday. He didn't like that one. It would be somebody to put in. I'm not sure his exact contract details, but he is a solid defenseman and he can play in that top 4 on the right side. You look at like now you're forced to play a Stetcher or a Brown in that 6th spot. And if there was I guess I'm not sure what the Oilers are doing. It seems like they got another move in hand, because moving CC was like, well, the hell are you doing now? Are you going to match? They didn't. So now it's that push to try and find that person. But now you're swapping out those players who were 7th defenseman, 7th and 8th defenseman. I'd say Brown being that 8th, a little bit lower in the depth chart than Stetcher. So here's hoping a Stetcher could show up and an Emberson could be there and just hold up. Right?
Rasmus Andersson's $4.55 million for 2 more years. So basically Broberg's contract.
Yeah.
Except he's a UFA at the end of it, but 27.
And he's right-handed.
I give that. I'd have time for that if that's the move the Oilers ultimately go make. Part of it is I don't know if the Flames would make that move.
Yeah. They're not going to want to help the Oilers.
Yeah, but the Canucks just did.
True.
I don't understand. I don't fully understand that one still.
I don't either.
But the Canucks just did. So maybe Craig and maybe Craig Conroy isn't the. There's a lot of question marks around him as a GM right now. We saw Mike Greer. There's question marks around him too, and people are going, "What are you doing, Mike?" Maybe Craig Conroy doesn't care fully, and he goes, I'll send this." But you had Anderson, Nurse, Bouchard, and Ekholm as your top 4 for the Oilers next year. I do have time for that.
Was Podkolzin the guy that the Oilers were trying to sign the same time they were looking at whether they were going to re-sign Kane with the same
I think that was
agent?
Kuzmenko?
Yeah, that's right.
The other
that's
Russian.
right.
Podkolzin was drafted a pick after Broberg.
Right, okay. That's right.
And Trev brought it up on the morning show today. His numbers are dropping. So this is a maybe situation for the Canucks where it's just like it's not working. He needs a change of scenery type thing. So they're getting something for him, and the Oilers are like, well, maybe we could be that change of scenery.
Right. It's an interesting trade.
I when I saw it was Canucks, I was like, really? I can't imagine Canucks fans are happy today, or yesterday, I should say.
Canucks fans are never happy. They're only happy when they're unhappy.
Which is things are right in the world when Canucks fans aren't happy. Yeah. They're just so annoying.
Oh,
they are the worst of them all.
They always get the flag.
Oiler fans we have our bad fans in the Oiler fan base and stuff, but the Canucks, it's just, I'll always go to, Elliot Friedman said it years ago. and Twitter, the people that give him the most vile responses are Canucks fans. So
they used to destroy their goalies. Just destroy their goalies.
and they always have goalies.
They always have goalies.
They're a factory. Them in Nashville are a factory for goalies.
Yeah, but they always just... It seems to have changed recently, but years ago, man. Like, you had one bad game and they're running the guy to town. It's like, I'd take him on my team.
Northside Sandwich in the Parish Jewelers inbox, 780-218-9999. Bowman drops a Draisaitl extension and all is good. Haha. I will make a prediction. This is just a guess for me. I don't feel like we get a Draisaitl contract if it happens until training camp-ish, so that there's a big press conference with him there.
Agreed.
I don't think he flies in at this close to the start of the season just for that press conference.
Yeah.
I think that's such a big contract. You do it in the Hall of Fame room. Stan Bowman, Jeff Jackson, Leon Draisaitl are there.
Yeah.
Photo op,
Yeah.
sandwich or jersey up, 29. You know, I don't know if you do a jersey of that one, but I just have that feeling that if this happens before the season,
McDavid sitting beside him.
possible. If he's not sitting there, then he's sitting in the seats somewhere or something. Like, yes.
Yeah. The Oilers.
I just think that you don't drop that one for this. I think you give
No.
Draisaitl the day now, or like the big press conference, and now like he's not going to just fly in. I don't believe just for the one day to fly back wherever he is. I could see it being like September 5th or something like that. Here's Leon Draisaitl with his contract. Everyone, hey, 8 more years, yay!
They're okay.
And everyone's happy.
If the Oilers have proven anything to you, they don't care about PR. So they're not going to fly Leon in, go, oh, geez, we lost Broberg and Holloway. Let's do some damage control. They don't care.
Well, and the flip side to that, too, is I don't think they want to use Leon for that. I think they want to give Leon that day where it's not a add-on to, oh, yeah, by the way, we signed Leon here, or whatever it might be. And I don't think they would want to bury it to mean like the day before Labor Day or something, where we're just so close to the end of August. Now, I think people are still tuned out because they know summer's almost over. So they're trying to get the last little bit of summer in, which I hate saying that summer's almost over. But you just, once September starts, like, it's for a lot of people the new year. You know, in sports, everything gets going.
For me, the calendar always, September 1st has always been
it's Labor Day.
my favorite weekend, my favorite month of the year.
And what better way to start the new year than having a big day where it's Leon signs his 8-year contract extension?
Yeah.
And I can't remember which insider. Was it Friedman or was it Saravalli? Somebody was out just last week or something like that saying that, like, the word around the NHL too is his teams, they've taken Leon off their whiteboard. They know that, like, unless something catastrophic happens with the negotiations, they're getting it done. It's just a matter of when and fine-tuning some things.
By the way, how much has this city matured? 5 years ago, if we were sitting without a Leon contract at this point in time going into the season, the city would have been burned down, right? Now people are just like, yeah, okay. No, it hasn't happened yet, but it's quiet.
I think because there's been enough reports that it's close.
Yeah, but like, how much it's changed. This organization has matured a lot. You know, people are starting to get a little bit of swagger, a little bit.
Somebody's saying you need to get the mic closer to your
Oh, sorry.
mouth. I don't know. Maybe we just need.
I don't know if the levels are maybe. I don't know. We're figuring it out still.
Yeah, no. He just
Oh,
needs to get it
okay.
closer.
Oh, okay.
I just hate
pardon me
having
then.
it like right in my business.
Like eating
Well.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
You got to.
Yeah.
fine.
Well,
Well, yeah. There's a couple of tech things I have to fine tune on here, but
do your real job.
You want to know something? But here's the thing. In the end, I'm willing to sacrifice the Hangout because I think we've made that other studio better.
So Hangout's
I think
a guinea
that
pig.
other studio has sounded way better over the last couple of weeks since I've put that board in there. And it's going to sound great with Hernan and Gage. It's going to sound great with Reed and Milne. But that studio now sounds way better. So
I can
the
attest
2
to that.
hours is a... We'll get there. We'll get there.
Why-
Apologies for everyone as we go through this, but there's only so much time to practice or fine tune it because also, like, everyone has gone out of the building. They don't even have bodies to test with. But we will get there. You just bear with us.
So was the idea originally to have 2 different rooms so you could just jump seamlessly from programming to one to the other, and then just it matured into, we're going to take 8 to 10 minutes between shows because we don't care.
Well, it's about 5 minutes still. I try to keep it within 5 minutes.
It was not 5 minutes today.
Well, we had Hernan engage and we were
Yeah.
talking. I haven't seen Dusty in a bit, and I only have so much time to talk with Dusty because once this is done, he jumps on the air, and between CEO and COO, there's got to be a couple little conversations that happen. I do try to keep it to 5. I try.
Okay.
I try.
Right.
I think the worst one in between is this show and the Nielsen show. But I think to Lock Shop and from Lock Shop to the other ones is relatively quick.
We'll see how the afternoon goes. Hopefully the producer has got his bleep together.
Yeah, like I don't know who they put in the reins for that.
What a short-sighted move, hey?
Yeah, I can't believe it. No, I'm happy. I'll be producing both that afternoon show and then the Reed Wilkins show. So it'll be fun to hang around with those guys. Things are changing a little bit for me, which will be exciting in the fall. More sports stuff. I'll get more into football. I think is a big key thing. NFL football. I've been all over, trying to be all over the CFL. Man, so Elks 3-game win. Like, did you guess earlier in the season that they would try and bring that up, but now they're I want to say rolling.
Well, they are. They
are
rolling.
rolling. 3 in a row is rolling.
You want to know if you did a power ranking of the West teams right now?
Edmonton's ahead of Calgary.
Well, truthfully, I think you could try to make an argument that Edmonton's better than Winnipeg, but I think it's Winnipeg, Edmonton is the top 2 teams in the West right now as they're playing. Saskatchewan's been losing football games. BC's been losing football games. Calgary I still don't know what. The Elks are right there with Winnipeg as one of the best teams. They have a plus 11 point differential.
Yeah. 3 Down Nation yesterday or the day before did their updated rankings. They had Bombers 4. I don't necessarily agree with that.
Who's higher? Montreal would be higher.
Montreal was 1. Ottawa was 2, and Toronto was 3.
No.
I'm not buying into
Toronto hasn't
Ottawa.
done anything yet.
Yeah, Toronto, I would have actually had them ahead of Winnipeg.
Really?
Yeah.
The only reason they beat Winnipeg was because Chris Streveler couldn't make that third down.
Yeah.
And then Castillo kicks it. Your defense gave up 6 points to them.
I know.
Toronto is a 2 hit and miss to me. Winnipeg's defense has really come on.
I think we talked about this at the beginning of the year. I said Toronto's going to tread water until Kelly gets back, and then they're going to take off. And they're getting Kelly back. Now, he's going to have rust as well, like Rourke did this past week.
Maybe.
But I'm a big believer in Toronto. They're going to give Montreal all they can handle in the East.
Yeah, no, if I had to rank where the teams are at right now, it's Montreal 1, it's Winnipeg 2, it's Edmonton 3. No, Ottawa 3, Edmonton 4. I'll give the respect to Ottawa.
I'm not giving Ottawa enough respect. I haven't bought in. They've had 3 starting quarterbacks.
But they've won, and I have to respect that part of it.
How many times have they played Hamilton? Like, Hamilton's just horrible.
But so who did they beat? They've beaten Calgary.
They beat Winnipeg.
Calgary twice. They've beaten Edmonton twice, I think. They beat Saskatchewan, they beat Winnipeg.
Yeah.
But they beat Winnipeg at a different time. They beat Edmonton at a different time.
Yeah.
But I have to respect what they've done as of late. So, yeah, I'd put Edmonton 4, but I'd put Ottawa, Winnipeg, Montreal going up my power rankings, not overall.
I would have Edmonton below Winnipeg, but I would have Edmonton ahead of Calgary for sure. Hamilton is just garbage. And, like, Edmonton's trending. But I think Edmonton's going to get pumped this week.
Okay, one IP saying it's never 5 minutes between these shows. If you're looking at the clock, maybe we don't start at 9 o'clock.
That's the thing. Dusty always runs late.
They always run late.
They always run
to today was 9:02, 9:03. So don't be looking at what time we start at 9:08. That's not our fault. That 9:08's 5 minutes from when that show ends. The morning show ends. I do try my best to get within 5 minutes.
Dusty has never ended that show at 9 o'clock.
It's very rare nowadays. Actually, if you go to YouTube, I generally schedule it for 9:05.
Yeah.
Because that's my hope is that we're on maybe around 9:05. So don't be basing on what time it starts.
The latest
you have to do it based on when the morning show ends and then we start.
I think 9:15 was the latest. I don't remember what day it was.
Well, and you're probably waiting for Tommy.
Yeah, that was 9:08 they went for.
Tommy's just like, do. Oh, geez, it's 10 after. We should probably get on soon.
Smitty the Welder saying the Elks have won 3 games all year with a lot of bunchy laughing emojis and they're third. Yeah, okay, Matty. Based on a power ranking, which is recent play. If you go, which team do you not want to face right now? They've won 3 straight games.
Last month, right? Power
rankings. That's the power rankings aren't who is the best over who's going to win the Grey Cup. It's most recent play. That's how you have to view power rankings. Who has been playing better than the Edmonton Elks this season? Well, Ottawa to me has, Winnipeg has, and Montreal has. Is BC playing over the last number of weeks better than playing?
4 in a row.
Are the Calgary Stampeders playing better football right now than the Edmonton Elks?
No.
Are the Toronto Argonauts, Hamilton Tiger Cats, or Saskatchewan Roughriders playing better football right now than the Edmonton Elks? I can't say that.
I'd say
Toronto. You would say Toronto. Yes,
ahead of them. But that's also a bit of speculation, right? Because they haven't had good quarterback play.
But of recent play, the last few games, which is what a power ranking is designed to do, the Elks, who's better? And that's what I would throw back to Schmitty, the welder.
You better be careful,
For what?
Don't want to bring heat on the chat board. They'll gang up on you.
What, like I'm not used to that?
It's only been happening forever.
Don Ellis, if the Double E beat the Alouettes, they will have a chance the rest of the season. That'll be a huge statement win.
Oh, if they beat Montreal, then I'm going to say it right now, they're going to be a playoff team.
Yeah.
If they beat Montreal.
It depends. If they play MBT, I don't think they beat Montreal. If Trey Ford starts, he gets the win.
And is Leak going to be healthy? He's made such...
See, but ranking's been amazing, too.
He has been, but it's different when people are basing their defense and planning your defense around one guy and then the next guy comes in, right? And their running backs have been the reason they've turned the season around. I was prepared to give all the credit to Ford, and then Ford missed the game, and the running back still went off. I'm blown away, actually. I just hope Leaks, for them, I hope he's not seriously hurt. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
But they have Kevin Brown. That's the flip side to that.
I don't think Brown works with that offensive line.
He did last year.
He
got
has
1,000
this
yards. But that was when, last year, the first half of the season didn't work, and then all of a sudden it worked. So I don't know. I need to see it. I would need to see it with KB.
Yeah, and Scout was saying when I was on here with him, a lot of that had to do with Ford and having a spy on him, and it changes things. But Edmonton looks like a different team when they can keep their D off of the field and protect them. When it comes down to it, when they play a team that's going to be able to get some 2-and-outs and expose their defense, I think they're going to have trouble. And that's where I think teams like Winnipeg, Montreal, Toronto, they're gonna be hard for them to beat.
Calvin sees the EST live stream at Bowman Avail at 11. No, we won't be. It's like a Zoom. It's nothing major in terms of setup and all of that. So I don't believe we will carry that unless Dusty's changes with the lock shop. What's going on? It's just whatever comes out of that. We'll bring it to you at noon on Two Guides and a Goalie. It's just a Zoom Avail. It's not a major press conference or anything like that. It's if you have Oilers Plus, it's not going to be available on there. I don't believe. I wouldn't expect it would be. So, but we'll give you the Cole's notes once Two Guys and a Goalie comes. This is the EST Hangout. Matt Iwanyk, Dean Belanger, Zacticum with you here. We do got to talk Estes. Also, I have a surprise for Zach later on.
For me?
Yes.
Should I be worried?
Yes.
I hope so.
100%. You should be worried.
Ooh, his eyes.
I will throw that one out there.
Is it?
The Estes are taking place September 17th at Metro Cinema. Get your ticket. Matt at EdmontonSportsTalk.com is email for the info. It's $10 a ticket. I will pass along. We're closing of what I wanted to sell. Of what I was thinking. They were about 50% sold, pretty much. So it's going to be a fun, wild night. Today we're discussing Moment of the Year. It's one of our big four categories. It's one of those where, like at the Oscars, you got Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Director, and stuff.
I think I have mine outside of what happened today.
Well, that's gonna have to go on the list now.
I think it has to.
Estes. I forgot to put one more in here. I'm gonna have to throw it on here. I got to find my list here. Here's my schedule. So for Moments of the Year, the one I forgot to have is us hiring Zacticum on air.
Yeah.
That was a great moment.
That was.
Yeah, Dusty brought that up today. I was like, oh yeah.
We've got Hernan's announcement today with Gager.
Yeah.
The ones I've got, so that I put on this, we have Stoff showing up in Vegas during the Hangout.
That was really good. That was really good.
We had the oil stream, which I call the Stanley Cup car wash. And what I mean by that was, if anyone remembers during the Stanley Cup final, I was doing the oil stream with Tommy, and Tommy was at Rogers, and he was in the media area. And all of a sudden, Stoff showed up, and Jack Michaels showed up, and Gene showed up, and Jamie McLennan showed up, and Luke Gazdick showed up, and we just had this stream of these different people, and all Tommy's been like, "Oh, bring on this! Oh, who's this one now?" And it was just a stream of different.
I never saw that episode.
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah,
I was losing it because it was because the 2 times Stoff has now been on EST, Dusty hasn't been around. Nice. It's been amazing. So there was that one. There was the day I resigned.
Like him and Glenn Suter. It's like supposed best friend, but
yes. Yes.
Never happens.
100%.
Yeah.
When I resigned as commissioner of the draft.
No, that's not a big moment.
When the boys' reaction to it and stuff, it was huge. When T-Roy took off his shirt at Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge after Super Bowl.
That was
Whipped
so
it off. I've got Eric and Jay taking off their shirts during the morning show because it was really hot in here. Is that why? I think it was.
I don't even know. They just went tarps off. I don't even know. It was just.
Can't remember the rationale.
Oh, thank God I didn't see that.
Crazy.
They
did for like an hour too.
The start of the morning show when Gager and Eric were just waving the pom poms through the whole playoff song or whatever those songs, just the whole time waving it. We have when Corey B got his tattoo.
That was okay.
Wow, you're a harsh
okay?
judge.
That was okay.
So what moment of the year do you have?
You know what? And this is like a sentimental, and it wouldn't have the panache that the other ones do. Really, for me, it was day one hangout. Will Fraser sitting in the chair. That was like
that one, or when we came on the morning show that day.
Well, yeah, whatever.
Because the first thing is he came in for the hour of the morning show.
Just having Will back was like it was like. Everybody had mourned the 1260 loss so hard. I was at the first Nasty Bash. Like, the energy there was incredible. Everyone was so excited. It's like we were all figured out. We were this big group of massive nerds. Will calls it the cantina on Star Wars. It's the perfect description. I can't wait to see that at a white tie event.
Sorry, Eric and Mill went topless after the lady.
Oh yeah,
that's what it was for.
I think that's
yes. But for me, it was day one. Will, like, that was a big moment for me. Like, it was just like I felt so happy to have you guys back. It was exciting. I couldn't watch live though. I was in Toronto, so I had to podcast it after.
Did you have any other moments?
Like on air? No.
Say you.
I don't want to say me. No, I'm not.
Well, that's going into the list. That was a great moment.
List, but I can't pick myself.
Yeah, you can.
Corey B tattoo was up there. That was the first one I thought of when Maddie brought it up. Moment of the year, I said Corey B getting the tattoo. That's permanent. He's got that on his calf for the rest of his life, barring any laser surgery to take it off.
Well, why would you? You don't need to.
Justin Blagoni, do we know when the 1 to 3 time slot announcement is going to happen?
Oh, someone wasn't watching.
It happens. Go back to the Nielsen show. Last 20 minutes of the Nielsen show if you don't want to be surprised by it.
Honestly, here's what we could tell you. Go back and watch the last 20 minutes because it's amazing. I didn't know it was happening. Like, you told me about Reed ahead of time. I didn't know that. So I'm like, what are they doing this morning? Like, I honestly thought it was good.
I will say there was a moment where we had Hernan signed, and the only 2 people in the office that knew was Dusty and I.
Yeah.
The rest of the staff didn't know.
That's awesome.
So that one was a tight wrapped. We locked that one down.
I had no clue.
And yeah, it was. And then also we found out that Hernan told some people like, oh, we should maybe tell the staff so that they know.
Yeah. Yeah, and if someone's sitting there going, well, why the hell would Dean know? He's just a nasty. I have an EST email. I'm doing some part-time sales for you guys. So
yes,
I have Dean at EdmontonSportTalk.com. You can sportstalk.com. Yes, you can email me. Please.
Just email, for whatever.
I don't get many emails on there, so just if you want to randomly email me, that'd be
nice
great.
To meet you.
Your best Oilers roster.
Yeah. Or, if you want to say, hey, that guy looks like he needs something to do, I can help, I can sell.
Moment of the year is the one I'm most excited for the Esties. That and episode of the year. Show of the year is good. I like it. We have episode of the year. We have moment of the year. Those are 3 of the 4 major.
Unless you've seen everything, how would you judge that? It's so hard.
Well, because they're known. I
didn't see the one where you're just saying all these hockey insiders.
Yeah, so that was on there. I know, but
that's pretty amazing.
Right, but the episode of so that is actually fell into one of the. I think I have that as an episode of the year nomination
from Trailer Park Boys.
Well, so that Hangout's one of them. We had the Nielsen show the day Corey B got his tattoos. Also the day we gave a trip to Vegas.
Yeah,
it's so good.
We had the Hangout in Vegas when it was Dusty, Eric, and I in my hotel room, and we're going at it about goalies for an hour. But it was it was the end of our trip. We were done. I think there was just one more show to go. I think we were doing the lock shop, and that was it. We'd been. No sleep for 3 days. I added on to episode of the year. I have a list written somewhere else too, but the post game show when the Oilers lost to the Sharks. People were fired up. They were angry. Tommy started with this long monologue ripping into the Oilers. It was an awesome episode.
Is the Capitals game live stream?
That's in one of them.
Yeah, because that was it was fun. I don't know. Were you around?
Nope.
No, that was
he started.
I actually watched it, and it was like, yeah, this is kind of. There's a bit of a delay from the game to this, but I'll try it, and it was so much fun. And then they won, and everyone was just like, oh, the EST bump, right? And it kind of became something.
I can't do it on my phone.
Ate 5 junior bacon cheeseburgers or something?
Yeah, there was
what
food everywhere. It was so funny.
I didn't catch that one.
What is my fourth category? I don't have it on here now. What is my other big four?
Now the episode of the year. I guess it would be the half.
I gotta go look at. No, that's not one of the big fours. I think it's that one.
Rookie of the year.
I've added.
You're in twice, buddy.
Twice.
Moment of the year, rookie of the year. Whew. You're all over.
I got chances. Hopefully, I don't get a participation ribbon. Hopefully, I get the full trophy. There you go.
Okay, I gotta go write it down. I have it written down somewhere which one it is. So, because there's a few others that we're announcing over the next. I think maybe it's this other one that's coming Monday. What we'll announce Monday might be it.
How many total categories are there then?
Well, I've added, so I think I have to write it down because I got to order the trophies today.
Yeah.
I want to say it's 24 or 25.
So who's presenting?
That I also have to fully figure out. Now that actually the staff doesn't fully know how this is going to go, but each show I think is going to present. So I think Dusty and Eric are going to have to, with Trevor, going to have to go present an award. The Hangout's going to have to present an award, potentially. I might pull that one because that means I have to present.
Oh.
But we'll have, I'm just trying to.
You just want to be the puppet master, right?
Well, Tommy and Jasmine could go present that one.
Everyone would prefer
we could
Jasmine
have
over you.
Easily. Yeah. I'm also running this, so I got to deal with other things.
Yeah.
Reed and Jay, I want to present an award. Hernan and Gager, I want to present an award. Am I missing people staff wise? Actually, maybe then Zach and Trev will present an award as the new people.
Yeah.
So there's 5, and we're not going to present all the awards that night. There's just no time. That's just gonna people are
It'll
gonna
get
bored.
dry.
It's one of those where I'm going to pick 12 to 15 awards. That's what we're going to present, but at some point throughout the night, we'll say, also prior to the show, we presented these awards.
So are you going to do like the Oscars,
screen?
So you'll do the moment of the year and then you'll actually show the clip?
I would hope to.
I'm going to try way better.
I'm going to try to.
Yeah.
But this is year 1 of the ESTs.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the Oscars on year 1.
Dude, you need to hire an assistant. You need to get the call out there right now for an assistant for this show alone. You need some technical assistance.
It's not that part. Once I get this figured out, we'll be good. And Survey Brett said, why don't you just get a different board? I actually have thought about that. I haven't gone to Dusty with that proposal yet to be like, hey, we need to spend this money for it. This board works. It's a good board. I just need to fine tune it, and I just haven't had the time to fully fine tune it. Whereas the other board we have just is brilliant somehow. I'd have no
Basically
idea
press and play on the other one.
I
this
honestly
one's
don't know
a
what
lot
it
of
does.
fine tuning.
Cash. Maddie Speets at the heavy hockey tournament. That's not on Edmonton Sports Talk, so that can't go into a moment of the year. But I did the whole any given Sunday speech to the team.
It was hilarious.
I pulled it out on my phone and I read the entire thing, and I didn't change any of the words, so it was still about football and stuff.
You actually had really good guests at Hockey Helps the Homeless too.
Oh, that's
a players.
Yeah. That's on the episode of the year. The Hangouts from that day is on.
Yeah,
and then Theo Peckham is one of our guests of the year nominees from that day too, because he was an outstanding guest on the morning show that day.
Which one? Sorry,
Theo Peckham.
Teddy was amazing.
Yeah.
I was driving to the tournament listening to that, and I swear to God, I almost started crying. He was amazing. It was so good.
It's probably my favorite interview of the year besides Dallas Eakins.
I can't stand him. He's going to be in a guest of the year, and I hope he doesn't win. I can't stand that man.
He knew the eyes.
He's a fraud. I have no problem saying that one.
I don't know
he knows how to win people over with his words. And now he's out in Europe and he's saying the right things, and Oilers fans all of a sudden are now starting forgetting about everything he did wrong here. I still will never forget, and I'm frustrated by this one, and maybe I'm too harsh on this guy, but I don't care. I remember being at the end press conference after he got fired, and he said, my family loves it in Edmonton. We're staying in Edmonton until I get my next job. And a month later, he was living in Vancouver.
Yeah.
He didn't have another job. He just left. He tells you what you want to hear. I don't have time for that guy.
I don't like the fact that he caught Solani's glove on the famous goal celebration. I've never liked him since. He was a terrible hockey player. I can't stand him. He's a crap coach. He's an arrogant SOB. He's a fraud. Don't like him.
I stand by that.
I thought he was a funny EST guest.
Because he knows how to play the media. That's the thing about Dallas Aikens. He's brilliant at that,
is there
and I
a
will
vote
give him
on
credit
this?
to that. So the vote.
Everybody vote Dallas Aikens.
Please.
So how this works is every Nasty Club annual member will early September or late August. I got to figure out when I'm going to do this because it's got to be very tight. It's like you're going to have like 2 or 3 days once I send this email to do it. Otherwise, your vote's not going to come in. You will be sent a Google form where you get a vote of your top 4 choices for each category. And some we only have 4 choices, so like you don't really get much of one.
I love this.
But all the annuals will get one, and every staff of Edmonton Sports Talk is going to get one except me. I'm staying impartial on all this. I will whittle it down to each category. We'll have 4 nominees. I then have a panel of 3 I'm going to create. I'm going to go to each of those 3 and get them to vote the finalists or the winner.
Staff or nasties? Or a blend?
I don't want to speak
There's some
who they are
nasties
because
that
I haven't spoken
have
to them
seen,
yet.
like everything.
I haven't spoken to them yet, but it's not nasties per se, but it's people I trust in this that understand that when I go to not Quinn, no, because she's probably gonna be nominated for something.
Oh, okay.
So I want to try to keep as much people out of it as possible that can't vote for themselves or something. I have the 3 in mind. I haven't talked to any of them. I should do that today.
It's going to be a good panel.
I think it's going to be a great panel. And I want them to vote like 1, 2, 3 type thing. And then I'll award it like 5. If you vote 1, that's worth 5 points. 2 is worth 3 points, 1, whatever. And then add it up. And if there's a tie, I'll go to each of them and be like, hey, it's this between this one and this one. Pick one. And then it's 3 people. 2 wins. I've got it all sorted out. Had this sorted out the day after Dusty and Eric talked about doing the Estes.
It's such an absurd concept, and it's going to be so much fun.
It's ridiculous.
It
like
is,
when you think of
yeah.
it, but in such a wonderful way.
Well, that sums up you guys and the nasties. It's a ridiculous community of sport nerds.
Mark's saying need more than 2 to 3 days for voting. Give it a week or 2. Well, if I do that, the Estes will happen and we won't have any awards. Like I don't have time for it because by the time we go through all these nominations, and then I get it all done and got that out there, and then talk to my finalists. Like I'm running out of time here. Like it's
Less
gonna
than a
be
month.
less than a month. Yeah, like it's gonna be like you might have Labor Day week, and then I also have to do a lot of other things. So I don't have time to just focus on Edmonton Sports Talk. If you or like the Estes, also have to deal with a new 1 to 6.
Yeah, there's a little bit.
It's
going
keeping me. There's a lot of things that go behind the scenes besides just putting 2 people right on the desk and be like, go.
Yeah.
So I like it's to find the time for me to make this work. Yeah, it's gonna be like 3 days of voting maybe or something.
On an
But
Iwanyk.
once you get that email, vote.
And
Like vote immediately.
You're lucky with your new role. You've got and with Hernan coming back, you're gonna have 3 ex-producers that you're working with.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah,
like
like,
the producing here
what a
is just a
mentorship
little bit different.
opportunity.
I know. I'm just trying to soak it in. Every day I'm here. Every time I'm here. Like I think I've been improving. I can say the least. Each day is a new step.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for it because Gager's a beauty. Hernan, I don't know that much about him, but he seems like a very great guy. I've heard great things from everybody here that previously worked with him. And then Reed, I listened to him for a very long time. And Jay, glue guy. Come on, he's glue guy. There's not much else to say there. So,
But like I watched Eric transition from producer to like Mike, right? And then I watched Matt do it. And I watched Hernan do it, or I guess listen to them do it, right?
Yeah.
So I've been a day one 1260. I was a day one listener. So I watched the whole evolution, right? So to see you and Trev come in and the new blood, and it's super exciting for you guys. Like super exciting.
and then one day, 3 years from now, it'll be 6 to 10 p.m. I don't know. I'm just kidding. That won't work. That won't work.
Having
with
had
Oilers
conversations with
kidding.
Dusty, I think we're good for a couple of years.
Yeah,
We
no
need to
kidding, yeah.
solidify. We need to make sure this. I don't think we have the.
You
I'm
don't
just
definitely
Josh.
don't want to grow too fast.
No, but
Because you strip out your infrastructure, right? You
Well,
can't manage it
it's also
anymore.
financially. You got to be careful with that.
Yeah.
But we're going to be live 6 to 6 Monday through Friday. We have Hello Hockey on Saturdays. We got the VIP golf show and golf season on Sundays. You add in that we got Edmonton Oilers pre and post game coverage. We got Edmonton Elks pre and post game coverage.
Yeah.
This year we did Riverhawks games. We did Stingers games. And we have our friends of EST Pods. We have MCTV, the Pipeline Show, the Turf District, the Elks Call, Gridiron Crush, Oilers Live that help fill out the rest of our program. Like, we have a lot that's happening on our 24/7 audio stream and expanding that.
But when you're ready, you and Trevor.
One day that will
great
come.
Show.
One
You
day
guys
it'd
are
be
gonna
great
have a
to have a nice show.
That would be hilarious, yeah.
Like, it's, I wouldn't expect that anytime soon. Portions of this hour brought to you by the High Product Marketing, official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Promotional products that bring the buzz. Check them out at highproductmarketing.com. Chelsea did some great work for me. If you go to the tailgate for the Elks Stampeders game on Labor Day rematch, we've got our own Edmonton Sports Talk cornhole game. With our logo on it, and our logo's on a nice beanbag, on the beanbags and stuff. So when you go and visit Trev and Zach, you could play us a little bit of cornhole, and we got a nice one done, and Chelsea got that done for us. She's fantastic. She's great. In fact, Trev, for his YouTube channel, Above Average, is working with Chelsea. So if you're looking for any promotional products just for yourself, for your YouTube channel, for your business, anything, check them out, highproductmarketing.com. Also, Toots, the official drink of the EST Hangout. Real brew tea, big taste, bold refreshment. Don't just give a hoot, give two. I'll have to jump into that momentarily, because it's still, I'm done my coffee now. It's time to get into that.
You got to keep the liquids coming in.
I told my wife, I told Cindy that we were going to have to go to the tailgate. And she's like, I'm not going to the tailgate. And I told her you'd be there, and then she was okay with it.
But I'm not at the tailgate.
You're not at the tailgate?
I'm at Century Casino Sports Bar Lounge every day,
Don't
or every
tell
game
her.
day.
She's not watching,
Pre and
so don't
post.
tell her. I'll tell
Zach
her.
and Trevor there, but I'm.
She'll have a great time.
She's not going to care. Sorry.
Just tell her I'm Maddie.
Come to Century Casino instead. Jay and I are there.
Got some great specials too.
Let's see.
4 o'clock kickoff show on Sunday.
No. But I'm looking forward to going to the tailgate.
It's a
I'll
great
tell
time.
you you're a double nominee. You're a big deal.
Ooh, okay. Priming me up. No,
He's got the Maddie seal of approval, if that helps.
Yeah.
I don't know if that'll help.
I don't know why. She really likes you. She obviously doesn't know how to read people.
And I felt bad because I also got the name wrong at the Elks thing, and I'm never going to forget that one.
Yeah.
Never gonna
Well,
forget that
you
one.
and 50% of the population get that name wrong.
Sentinel Storage.
Yeah.
Check them out if you're looking at any.
Not Centennial.
No, but check them out if you're looking for any of your storage needs. Okay, I want to get to this. We got to get to Road Warriors in a little bit too. I was sent something today.
What are you talking about?
I was sent something today.
Oh, you were sent
I was sent something today. I was sent a voice note. As this text says, I was, because it didn't go through and I had to get it sent a different way. I sent you a voice note with little opening battle rap for Zach. Josh Clausen.
Oh wow, he's already on it. I
Got
was
me a little thing.
brainstorming.
Okay, I don't have it connected to the computer, so I'm going to play this.
this
I'm
gonna
going to have it on by my mic.
This is why your volume was cranked.
No, I was actually trying to figure out the audio thing, but
Okay.
now I haven't played. Let's see if actually how this will play when it
excited
comes.
This is
I don't even need to take
Okay, that plays loud.
that'll
Okay.
work.
I'm gonna play what Josh Clausen sent me. Zach, you got to hear this. This is the first. You took the shot yesterday. For those that didn't know, on the oil stream yesterday, Zach said he'd win a rap battle with Clausen. Don't know how you came up exactly.
Are you nuts?
I've had this crazy thought in my mind, popped in my head one day. Yesterday was a perfect
you
time
would have
to.
said, I'm going to get on the mat and have an MMA match with Josh Clausen. I'd say, okay, I'll take the kid.
I do an
Rap?
EST fight.
Yeah,
Not a chance.
I
I'd
think
sanction it.
Dusty said on the morning show he has a better chance of probably accurately predicting the weather better than Clausen than he does winning a rap battle.
He doesn't
against
do
him.
it right
like,
anyway.
This is
Like-
foolhardy, but okay.
So
I'm here for it.
So let's hear what Josh Clausen has to say.
I don't even need to take it to the maximum. Who's Zacticum? More like Zach's a bum. Better go back to class and keep practicing and face the fact that you actually can't rap, son. I'll smash you, drown you in birdie booze. Battling me, you got two options, lose or lose. Even if I was sleeping, you couldn't harm me. I'll run you out of town like Yesapul Yarvi, so stop. Walk away real slow. Stick to producing and lead the mic to a pro.
Whoa.
That's some heat.
Okay, does that actually sound like him, or did he do an effect on his
No,
voice?
that's him.
Wow.
That's him rapping.
That's his
Sounds
rap
really
voice.
good.
I'll just say this out there.
You're dead.
You don't have to do. He voiced something. He created something. You got 24 hours to respond in some way, Zach.
Dude, this is
I'll
is
just throw that
bigger
out
than
there.
the Drake Kendrick beef.
You not.
I'm kidding.
We got a Jesse reference in there.
He pulled out a lot of things. He got the birdie booze in there.
Smash.
Producing?
Ooh,
At least
going
he
to
gave
school.
you, he
Like-
recognizes you're a producer.
I will just go this
Give
far.
me some recognition.
Yeah.
The question for you, Zach, is: do you still think you can win a rap battle with Josh Clausen after hearing that first shot back that he took to you?
I stand on my ground. I stand on business.
Wow. So where's this happening? Live?
I don't know.
Tomorrow on the Hangout or what?
I think I'm gonna have to book a hangout soon with this, and just let's go and see.
Be good content.
Look, I need to see how he responds now. Again, I'll say you got 24 hours.
Okay.
He responded from the oil stream yesterday, so you got a little bit of time to plan and prepare. But
Respond better than the Oilers did after a week, okay?
I will. Oh, yeah. Oh, after that week.
Yeah.
Which week was that? Oh, I know which one. Didn't hit 17. Or what was it? 18 in a row? I don't know. See, I was scared.
I'm talking about the offer sheet.
yeah, he's talking about this week that just happened.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, there's multiple times where it takes them. If they take a week to respawn, they're not good. Either way, today and the other days.
Well, you're talking about coming off the All-Star break.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That
it was.
also
That's
didn't
what
work.
That was the first one I went to.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay. All right, Josh. I ain't joshing around anymore. I got to get to work after this.
Yeah, you got a big night.
I'm staying up all night.
You might want to take the box home with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dear Josh, I wrote you. But
What a great response by Clausen.
I don't have anything to say right now.
That's not good.
Right now.
If you were if you're in a rap battle, you don't get to think about it. That's the thing. If he comes with you and you don't have a response in that moment, you're done.
Oh yeah, I know.
Right? So like the fact that right now you're saying, I don't even know how to respond, you're gonna do even worse in the rap battle than I thought.
You had okay. We'll wait and see what happens.
Okay, well, I look forward to 10:30 tomorrow.
10:30 tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll give 24 hours to respond. You can respond any way you want. You can put it on Twitter. We could play it on the Hangout. We could do whatever. But I'll just say that the fact that you're going to sit there, I don't know how to respond right now. It's not going to go well in a rap battle.
It's a bad sign.
It's not a good start.
Nope.
Yeah. Maybe you should just do a breakdancing response because, Matt's the breaking expert now, and he could coach you on that, I'm sure, in 24 hours.
Okay, Phil Wizard did it, Dean. Phil Wizard got us a goal.
Did you hear how he said Dean? Like, does it make you want to just like, ugh?
No, he said Dean.
No, it's what
He was saying the tone. He was talking about the tone.
Matt's got the most annoying tone. When he wants to annoy somebody and be a chirper, he's the best at it.
Says it when he means it. It's got.
What, you want Canada to get back a medal? How many golds did we get, Dean, at the Olympics? 9 or 8?
8, 9?
It was 9.
Yeah.
In your heart, what did we get?
I didn't care.
It's 9 because Phil Wizard did it.
No.
Showed the world how to break.
I turned it off after Summer left.
Well, she was amazing.
Did she actually? I didn't watch. Did she fly back
Yeah,
for the closing
she did.
ceremony?
It was her and Katzberg shared the.
She should have had it alone. Like, come on.
I'm okay with that. She's opening in 28. She's walking out with. Like, to me, the closing ceremony one is. I'm not that big on it. Like, it's awesome, cool. I care about. There's just the opening ceremony one.
Yeah,
and
it kicks it off, right?
2028 is Summer's Olympics. Like, this wasn't her Olympics. That's the scary part. She's 17.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be Penny's Olympics, but she got hurt. So.
Yeah, so no, that's where like she'll get to walk it out in 2020. There's no one else that should walk it out in 2028. Barring some sort of injury to Summer, knocking on wood for that, there is not a single other person that should get the honor of 2028 based on the Summer. Like, there could be a huge star that comes up over the next few years that we don't know in a certain sport. That's cool. You're not Summer. She deserves it in 2028.
Well, she kind of made history, so.
Exactly. And she'll be 21.
Yeah.
That's ridiculously scary to see how much better she can get in those 4 years.
Yeah, that's.
And she's going to do it in America. Like, there's just that little extra tension. America loves watching the pool, and they're going to get to watch the Canadian Summer do it. I'm very excited about that one. It's on my board to take EST, to hang out to there.
Won't be part of that Olympics, so I'm also very excited.
No, and you want to know something? I'm good with it. I saw it once. I'm happy.
Yeah, we got our medal.
I'm fine.
Can't wait for cricket.
Actually, that would be fun. But hey, no one could ever say they're better males breaking nation than Canada.
Absolutely.
On the men's side, males, they cannot say they're a better breaking country than us. We've got it.
Look at your attitude.
Deal with it.
Look at your attitude.
Well, it's one of the reasons I actually didn't want golf somewhat back to the Olympics is we won the last one in like 1906 04 or something like that. So we were the defending reigning champs.
Yeah.
So I want to keep that.
Sure.
And we're forever the defending reigning champs when it comes to
Make
males
the-
breaking.
just
Female
make the
breaking
Olympics
wasn't
go
us.
away. Just go away.
No.
Yeah.
2028, we're going to be in London. Or in LA. And
LA?
Dusty doesn't know this. Well, I mentioned it once to him and he's like, it's not happening. But Tom and I are going to make it happen. We're bringing the Hangout there.
Oh.
We'll be your correspondents on the ground.
Put it on the
Not
calendar.
on Olympic grounds. We'll be at the Holiday Inn 15 miles away from the Olympics.
I don't care. We'll be on the beach somewhere.
Yeah, okay. Or do that.
I'll bring a laptop, I'll do that, and I'll just stay at the beach all day and pretend that, I mean, we're here covering the Olympics, but I'll just be sitting at the
And you
beach all
probably
day.
can't even say here covering the Olympics. We're here covering a large summer event.
Yeah, you're right.
Sporting event in LA.
They're
No, I'm just trying to
nuts
think. I'm
about
just trying to
rights
think.
and right holding and
Yeah, I don't
everything.
think. I think you get away saying we're here to cover the Olympics.
Yeah. You might want to have a lawyer on retainer.
What do they know? What are they gonna do? Who's the IOC? They're not Edmonton Sports Talk. Have they expanded from 1
Who
to
are
6?
they? You and I want to cover this. The largest, most corrupt sports agency in the world. That's not the right word.
This is the EST Hangout live on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Tune in iHeartRadio as well as those watching on YouTube. Matt Iwanyk, Dean Belanger, Zacticum with you here. For those that missed all the news from today, I'll start with the EST news. Hernan Salas and Walking Engage. They're your new afternoon show here on Edmonton Sports Talk from 1 until 3. EST afternoons with Hernan Salas and Walking Engage. And then from 3 to 6, it will be Reed Wilkins with Jay Milne. That's all starting the Tuesday after Labor Day. And then, of course, the Edmonton Oilers. They kind of did some news today. Should
Maybe
mention that. They did not match the offer sheets for Philip Broberg or Dylan Holloway, so they get a second and a third round pick in the upcoming draft. Broberg and Holloway are now members of the St. Louis Blues. Part of that, though, the Oilers did make a deal with the St. Louis Blues, who traded the rights of Paul Fisher along with a third round pick in 2028 in exchange for future considerations, which will never be met. I think that's kind of just the Oilers agreed to not match. And the Oilers then get the rights to Paul Fisher. Don't know much about him. I do know that there was a text that came in earlier during the Hangout. Some people saying a good young defenseman. So we'll see what he can maybe.
Yeah, they probably look at it and say we can't sign him. He's probably given indication because he's coming up, I think, on a deadline where he has to be signed soon. He's maybe got one year left of college. You know what? Not talked about. That's a couple of sneaky good moves by the Oilers, right? You trade Ceci to create that tension, that misdirection, and then you draw an extra pick and a player out of them. I mean, the Oilers were never doing that 2-3 years ago, right? It's hey, let's rent a barn and plan a fight. Like they were never doing stuff like that. I kind of think that's interesting, and it really sets them up for next year's deadline.
Yeah, no, it's like if this was the Oilers of the last 15 years, whatever it is, I feel like if there was offer sheets to be matched, they would either accept or not accept, and that was it. You wouldn't see the Cody Ceci move. You wouldn't see the move that deal with Podkolzin. I don't think I got it right.
I think that's right.
You wouldn't have seen this extra move part of the offer sheet.
Yeah,
like
no,
Jeff
I don't
Jackson,
think I've ever seen that before, Matt.
And I'm going to go, Jeff Jackson's the guy I'm going to give credit to with that because like we also saw July 1st that I haven't recall seeing in Edmonton. I don't know, ever type thing. Like he went out and it was like, wow, you can only do so many moves. And the first move's happened, like, yeah, it's got to be it. Oh no, there's another move. Oh, there's another move. Oh, there's another move. What's Jeff Jackson doing here type thing? And now it cost them a little bit because it left them open to this our offer sheet and stuff.
Yeah.
But who also doesn't like watching the guy running the team taking swings? Like, and that's what Jeff Jackson was doing. He was actually connecting on the ball with a lot of them.
There was a lot of people this morning blaming Bowman. I'm not blaming Bowman for any of the stuff that happened up until now. I'm also not going to give him a ton of credit for the moves they made in the last week because I think that has...
I'm going Jeff Jackson.
Yeah, it looks like Jeff Jackson's obviously a very forward thinker and he's doing things outside of the box. I'm not giving Bowman credit or blame for anything. His job just started.
Yeah.
And I think
okay, here's the question I'll throw at you before
But maybe
so the Oilers go make trades at the deadline next year. Who gets the credit for that deadline?
Starting now, I have to start giving Bowman blame or credit.
Fair.
So when they sign Leon,
I'm not giving Bowman credit for that one.
No.
I will not give Bowman credit for Leon or Connor. because to me that is, and Tommy's talked about a lot. That's going to be Jeff Jackson. But it's also going to be Daryl Cates.
Those are
Daryl
already
Cates
done.
but to fine tune whatever it is,
they're already done.
the owner's involved in those ones.
Yes.
Daryl is very much going to be involved in those conversations.
From this training camp forward, and who knows, maybe he was in on Podkolzin, and maybe he scouted him heavily and has always wanted him, and maybe that was his move. And maybe these two guys that they picked up from San Jose and St. Louis are guys that he was in on, right? When Chiarelli came to the Oilers, he had a whole target list of guys that he wanted to bring in or draft or right. So he could have been in on those, but you know, I'm not blaming him for the two guys getting offer sheeted. That's not.
No, it can't be him. He wasn't like, you can sit there and be like, why didn't they get them done and sign them? Well, why didn't Jeff Jackson do that? And why didn't Ken Holland? And I don't even really want to blame Ken Holland for this. I look at Jeff Jackson as the issue with that one. He allowed that to happen because even if you say
again, it was
why didn't you get things done?
Gamble that every team does.
100%. But if you
they got screwed.
The narrative tried being out there that it was Ken Holland was told to sign them during the season, and then stories did come up that he tried and they just turned down the offers. But it's also if you weren't happy with
Broberg didn't want to be here.
But if you weren't happy with what Ken Holland was doing with those negotiations, well, that's on you for having a lame duck GM. Like you go get like
also,
that's so I'll always put the person who's higher in that one. So to me, the issue of the offer sheets is Jeff Jackson.
Yeah.
But he's also done a lot of great other things around that. And I'll never forget what Ken Holland said in his first press conference with the Edmonton Oilers was, as a GM, you're going to have misses. You just hope that those misses aren't so significant that they overtake your hits.
Yeah.
Jeff Jackson had a bit of a miss this year. But how many hits did he have in that?
Way more hits than misses.
Exactly.
He's way better than an MLB all-star hitter.
He's not batting 1,000, but right now, is he batting 700, 750, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know?
Look, today sucked, and I'm more upset about Broberg than Holloway. I think maybe Holloway could end up with the best upside of the two. I'll listen to that argument. Jeff Skinner is a way better signing than both of those guys.
Well, I was thinking about it like this almost. You traded essentially Philip Broberg and Dylan Holloway for Victor Arvidsson and Jeff Skinner. So it's like if you think about it in that sense, you bring those guys in who Jeff Skinner, point per game guy, kind of had a couple rocky years, multiple 30-goal scorer. He's a goal scorer. He knows how to play the game. Mm-hmm. He finesses well. When he plays with great players, he plays well and produces. So now he's in. Victor Arvidsson, great guy, was kind of stuck losing against the Oilers, so can't beat him, join him sort of thing. Always a player on the LA Kings during all those series. And then you lose a couple young pieces. And it's like, well, those were such great ads that it was almost too good to be true. And it turned out too good to be true.
Right. But you would make that trade. The only downside is you've weakened your D depth, right? But I think they'll be able to cobble it together until the deadline. And I haven't looked yet at what UFAs are available this fall, or sorry, this next spring.
Like pending UFAs for next season.
Looked at that yet.
Leon Draisaitl.
But they finally found a winger for Leon, because if Skinner and Arvidsson don't work, then they'll go up with McDavid, and then you just get Nuge and Hyman. Okay.
There's no bad way to
that's
look at
terrible.
The top six is great.
The top six is frightening. And the top six is going to be able to outscore with that power play a lot of the mistakes. And I do honestly think Tyson Barrie will be in Edmonton on a PTO. All signs are pointing to that. He'd be a great 7. Bouchard gets nicked up. You can put him in. He can run the power play. You don't have to change, your setup because he's right-handed. He's done it before. He's got that bomb. The bomb hasn't gone away. His boots have. I don't think he can skate well enough anymore.
No, Barrie, that was the one good thing about him, is that he really had the skating. He's not great on defense, but he's really an offensive D-man. So if the Oilers give him a PTO, hey, why not? Need somebody to fill in that.
And the guys in the room love him, right? He's still in the offseason been around those guys. Obviously they made a tight connection. That means something, right? So I think he'll be back.
Okay, I think I maybe figured out Puckpedia. I'm trying to navigate how to
really played around on Puckpedia.
Well, I didn't find a thing that just said, here's the free agents for that year.
Yeah. Puck GM is good. I use that.
Puck GM, there's another one.
So if I've got this
that was
correct, for people that will be UFAs after this upcoming season,
Parenko.
where you want D or do you want
he's
forwards
signed
or do you
for
want
5
overall?
years.
Oh, you want D?
6.5.
Okay, give me
5 more.
now. Give me another chance.
Yeah,
Just
I
give me
think
a second here.
It's got to be D-men they're going to go after.
Defense. Okay, there we go.
And if you could find
Apply.
a right-handed Ekholm that we could get at a reasonable price, I'm sure they would love that.
So next year at the deadline,
Don't
it's
go
like
on trees. Yeah.
well, so there's Brett Burns, Orlov, both with Carolina, but they'll be in a playoff position. You got Petrie, Gavrikov with LA, Larson with Seattle. If Seattle's out of the playoffs, can you try to snag an Adam Larson? Martinez with Chicago, McCabe with Toronto, Savard with the Habs, CC with the Sharks. You could, in theory, go back and try to get CC. I don't think you would.
I thought
Cole
there's a rule where you can't
Mata.
trade the player back in the same year.
could be true on that. I'm just trying. Rudo with
It would have
San
to go through the
Jose.
third team with CC, and I don't think he's good.
Just trying to see who else.
I'd have time for Petrie right now if it was today. I would.
Travis Hamonic with the Sens.
Meh.
I think that's kind of
Great.
the biggest names there. But like Adam Larson, I think would be one that you'd kind of look at. Would he like? Is that
Yeah.
not a type of defenseman you'd want to
Yeah.
add in the top four?
And I don't think Larson
if
would
Seattle's
sign-
out.
I don't think Larson would want to be here long term for the reason that he left in the
Yeah.
first place. But for a short term,
But would he come for the rental?
Yeah, I can
know?
see him doing that. Live out of a hotel and keep your family wherever they are. And
He does have a modified no trade clause.
yeah, but I don't think
So-
he'd have a problem with Edmonton.
I mean, 10-team no trade list. So that would be the thing you'd also have to look at. But so defenseman, but okay, I'll throw this part out there too. No one saw the Ekholm thing. Is there a player out there that has term
Right.
that you might be able to go snag instead too?
Right.
Like where you have an Ekholm where all of a sudden this guy's not just here for the Oilers for the run, but you're sitting there going, well, he's going to be here for 2-3 years.
Yeah.
You know, that's the other thing. To
Yeah,
look
like
at.
I was whispering over here when you were in your phone.
Trying to figure out
the
Puckpedia.
finding a right-handed Ekholm, like that's to have that happen twice. Like, come on.
Well, yeah. What kind of I don't know. Walker was a big name. He's signed now. Dursey signed. There's a lot of those guys on term who just signed contracts, but you're not going to go out and get one of those two players. So,
But to Matt's
there's a lot
point, there
of
might
fishing.
be a guy who has 1 year left, like Anderson,
Or-
how we started,
yeah.
right? Like Anderson
name.
might fit that really well. If the cap's going up, you can stomach a 4.5.
Well, but the only issue is Bouchard. Leon's going to have his jump anyways, but you'd have to think that's going to be
McDavid,
partly.
I don't think is going to have a huge jump over where he is.
Well, he's 12.5.
His-
I'm projecting probably
14?
no. I was thinking he'd be probably between 15 and 16.
No, I think he's going to leave money on the table.
I think that's still leaving money on the table.
I think he's leaving more money on the
So-
table than that.
But it's not like the Bouchard's the big one because you're going from what 3 something
He's going to go to like
to 10.
Yeah,
like
nice.
you're talking about close to a $7 million increase.
Yeah. So you have to.
Leon's going to have a pretty decent increase too. But
he
that
knows.
to me is like, okay, that's the cap going up. There's a large part of Leon.
Leon's going to be what 13 and a half, 14, something like that.
It sounds like less than 14. It would become.
Yeah.
So
I honestly, I don't think McDavid's going to take as much as you think.
we'll see.
He makes so much money endorsement wise that Leon doesn't, right? So Leon had the skip ads this year. Did he have anything? He had one.
Here's the thing.
He had one
was a
other
good
one.
ad.
Here's the thing with Marner.
He had,
Is that
yeah,
skip?
the one where they were jumping off the dock.
I don't know
was
what that
a
is.
Stupid campaign. It didn't last very long.
Oh,
it was
who was
only
that
on
with?
for a couple months.
Let's get to Road Warriors, which is brought to you by AccuSteel Heavy Haul Trailers, custom manufacturing of heavy haul trailers, custom engineered solutions, no patch jobs, better than new solutions, trusted by the leaders in the heavy transport industry. Get on the road with peace of mind for your large loads, AccuSteel.ca. On the road tonight, it's baseball. That's what you have to look at. Actually, there's a huge game. I'm not saying this is a Yankee fan. You got the Guardians taking on the Yankees. Guardians going to New York, 72-52 club taking on a 73-52 club. These are two of the top teams in all of baseball meeting.
Cleveland's been surprisingly good this year.
They are, if you go overall records, Yankees are 3rd in baseball, Cleveland's 4th in baseball.
Go
That's a
Cleveland.
pretty fun matchup that is going to take place out in the majors. As for the Toronto Blue Jays, they continue at home to the Reds. There's nothing else really major, I think, happened. Padres and the Twins, two pretty decent clubs as well. Where are those two teams in the standings? Because they're pretty high up there, too.
No, not particularly. Like I've always been meaning to try and get into it, but I find it so hard to sit down and watch baseball. Following it is another thing. Like I could watch something like Jays in 20, but something happened in the
Jays in
playoffs or Jays in 30.
Yeah.
But something happened in the playoffs last year where they took out their pitcher and they ended up losing the game. out of the playoffs, and I saw that. I'm like, I can't. After that, like, I don't want to be a Blue Jays fan now.
Yeah, I haven't cared less about a baseball season in my life than this year.
Padres, Twins, 7th and 8th best records in baseball. So you got two really good matchups in baseball tonight with the Yankees taking on the Guardians and the Padres battling the Twins.
Padres didn't end up being as good as they thought they were going to be this year, are they?
Well, they have the 7th best record in baseball.
Yeah, but I thought they were...
I think that's better than in the past.
Yeah.
So I think that's a pretty decent,
honestly,
actually.
The Dodgers are not anywhere near as good as I thought they were going to be. I thought they were going to break the record for win percentage. But they've had a lot of injuries.
They've had injuries.
Yeah.
I also, it's one of those, do you care about setting that record or do you care about the playoffs? They're tied with the Phillies for the best record in baseball. Phillies, based on percentages, are .002 better than the Dodgers.
Yeah, I thought,
Phillies,
honestly,
best team in baseball right now.
25 games ahead of them right now.
And then in the CFL, that's not coming until Thursday. But the Bombers taking on the Ticats. They should roll that one.
They're going to eviscerate. Although, is that in Hamilton? Or is it in Winnipeg? Bombers always lose in Hamilton. I was there twice last year for Bomber losses in Hamilton.
It's in Winnipeg.
Good. They don't play well in Hamilton. I don't know what the deal is. Coach O'Shea told me that. He did. I met him at a bar after the game. And he's like, we never play well in Hamilton. And I'm like, well, that's not good. The Grey Cup's here. He goes, I know. And yeah, they lost. So.
Yeah.
Their defense has just picked it up so much that the Bombers, to me, they're a team to be scared of. Again, I wasn't scared of them for the longest time, but I'd be scared.
I wanted to ask you this. Thanks for bringing up that game. What is Jones doing going to be a DC? Like, how does that work salary-wise?
He's not getting paid.
He's not getting paid?
He's doing it for free. That's why he's not defensive coordinator. And that's how they're getting around this coaching cap, which I don't see how you can do that for the Canadian Football League.
Yeah, like,
I don't know how you
that's
can.
garbage.
I don't know how that's
so he's a consultant who doesn't get paid.
Who's calling the plays. Like,
Yeah,
I understand.
I
understand you might have people that come out and help coaching during the week or something. To me, you can't have a guy not getting paid on DC, OC, special teams, or head coach.
Yeah.
That's a complete
So
circumvention
Edmonton
of the
has to
cap.
pay this guy.
They're paying him for 12 months.
Hamilton gets him as a DC, and the CFL, again, looks foolish. Like, why do they allow this?
And Hamilton doesn't have to have it on their coaching cap.
Yeah, that's garbage.
You're now circumventing this coaching cap. Like, just get rid of the coaching cap. Move on from it.
Or grab some stones and just say, no, you're not doing that. Like, that is garbage.
But how could you tell someone that they can't go help for free?
It's... I'm not a lawyer. I don't know how, but it's not within the spirit of the rules.
I know, and that's where, this coaching cap has not served any sort of purpose, but keep bad teams down. So move on from it. Like, it's not necessary.
Yeah.
And or the cap has to go higher, or maybe it's over the course of 2 years you can only spend this much amount of money. There's got to be a better way. It only helps teams that are actually good. It has not served its purpose at all. And the reason the cap is all in place is because of Chris Jones. And the reason the Elks were bad so long and we're stuck with Chris Jones was because of the coaching cap. Yeah. And now, because of this, somehow Chris Jones is getting paid or not getting paid to now be a coach. It's ridiculous. But it's a good move by the Ticats in one sense. Smart. He's a great defensive coordinator.
Yeah, he's an amazing defensive coordinator.
The other part I will say to this is because I'm still always going to have fear of Trey Ford leaving Edmonton after this season.
No, I don't think him and Trey Ford are the best buddies.
That's I think we might be able to scratch Hamilton off of locations for Trey.
Yeah.
So there's less spots for him to go, which is nice. But I'm not going to lie. I'm still worried that the Elks are going to stick with MBT. Hey, you won this game, and now they're going to go back to MBT and go with it.
Such a short-sighted move.
This coaching staff, I was fighting for it earlier. They don't like Trey Ford.
You'll know when Ford gets healthy.
Yes.
And you have two healthy guys in the quarterback room, and something bad happens, you'll get your answer. Because if they flip right back to MBT, then you know.
The moment Trey Ford is healthy, if he's not starting,
then you know.
And I'll say this: that's the very first big test of Larry Thompson as owner. Because if I'm Larry Thompson and I do like Trey Ford, I'm clearing my throat big time on that one and going, what are you guys doing?
But if you're Larry Thompson, the owner, the first thing you should do is get the people in place that you want. And those are the people that need to make those decisions.
Right, but
if you start meddling.
But here's the issue that there's a time crunch.
I understand.
And I've thrown this one out there. If you take another shot at Trey Ford like that, you're kicking him out the door. And if you're Larry Thompson, you're sitting there going, I don't want this. This coaching staff's not going to be here anyways next year. I want Trey Ford. before I get I'm trying to get my people in place, but I need to keep Trey Ford. I need to keep Trey Ford happy.
Yeah.
And it's too bad, Jerry's Jackson. That guy needs to start because I need him as my starting quarterback and face of this franchise.
He's on the billboards right now, man.
And I don't need a third shot at Trey Ford. Do not keep trying to push him out this door for a coach that I'm not going to be bringing back. True. And that's why I don't think he has time to allow a president.
I'd sign him for next year now, if I could. But
I'm worried about it.
I don't know if this is true or not, right? But when we had an owner for the Oilers who apparently meddled in the draft and was the reason they took Yakupov.
Yes, the coaching staff or the scouting staff wanted Murray.
Right, and we don't know if that's true or not, or unless...
Oh, it's been very well reported, yes.
We didn't like that. It didn't work out well, and it looks bad.
Well, he made the right move.
But what if it
over the scouts, that one.
Right, what if it did work out amazing? Then you're like, okay, then you can change the narrative. But the owner should not be involved in that.
I agree, but the Elks have become that unique unicorn for me that I'm okay with it because they need the business of this. If you allow Trey Ford, if you push Trey Ford out the door, who's the quarterback for next year? If you're Larry Thompson trying to sell tickets, and from a football perspective, Trey Ford is a guy that could help win football games. We've seen that. Mm-hmm. But two, I'm also trying to sell tickets. I'm trying to sell season tickets. How am I selling them? I'm selling it with Trey Ford.
Trey Ford, and
because everything is so. I don't want to say everything's getting set for a clean slate here. Yeah. You need a president, then they could hire a GM, then they could hire a head coach, and then they could go through that.
Right.
You want that process to happen. But you can't allow that process to happen at the sake of Trey Ford, because then what are you doing?
But you're also putting the cart before the horse if you sign Ford before you hire 100%. People. But I can live with that argument because again, you and I we're arguing, but we both agree.
Yes,
Ford is the guy.
It goes against everything I believe in running a franchise.
Yes.
Which is. You don't do all of that.
Correct.
But on this situation, I think it's too important to not do.
If it was my money, if it's my skin in the game, and I am Mr. Thompson, I would be saying Ford needs a 2 or 3 year deal. Make it happen. My business and marketing plan is built around a Canadian 100%. Quarterback who's the face of the team, who everyone seems to like. Mm-hmm. I haven't...
The conversation I'd be having with, it'd be part of it with the president and with the GM would be... I'm going to let you do what you want, but Trey's the face of this team to start. And then I'm out. Then I'm not going to make another decision. But Trey has to start with this and move forward. But it goes against everything I believe. But I think it's the right thing for this franchise. And you can't allow an interim head coach to mess with this team moving forward long term just because of what he thinks.
Yeah. The only person I've ever heard say anything negative about Trey Ford was Mill. When we did the show at Century Casino, and he's talking about how great MBT was.
Sorry.
Right?
I had that for the Clausen stuff.
And you and I were like, what are you talking about? what has MBT done to warrant this incredible praise? And it was like, well, he won a Grey Cup. No, he took a team through the regular season and helped them to the playoffs. Chad Kelly won a Grey Cup.
He won the Grey Cup in the end.
I'm sorry, I know there's no way to prove this, but I will argue this till the day I die. The Bombers win that Grey Cup. If Kelly's not playing.
That offseason, going into it, Toronto was waiting to hear what happens with MBT. And I was like, why are you waiting to see what happens with MBT? Move on, go to Chad Kelly. He's the better quarterback. Yeah. He's an idiot. We've learned that very much.
Yeah,
he's a moron.
And they probably knew behind the scenes that, oh, God.
Yeah, but he's the better quarterback.
They also gave him a monster deal.
Yeah, for that one they did. But that's the only thing. And the Elks aren't practicing today. I think they get back on the field tomorrow. Trey might not be healthy for Montreal, and I'm good with that. And if he's not playing in Montreal, but by all accounts, it's only a few weeks, and he should be ready to go for I think Labor Day. And if he's not starting Labor Day for me, I'm very upset with Jerry's Jackson.
I would hold him out and not play him against Montreal and save him for Labor Day. I agree with that. Snowball's chance in hell against that defense. I really don't.
Well, I think he gives them the best chance of winning more than MBT.
They're not winning that.
But I'll just say this, and then all of a sudden Jerry Jackson's going to come and say, we won 2 straight with MBT. We're going to go stick with MBT.
They're not.
And Trey Ford loses his job because of injury. Because in the end, the coaching staff, and I'll point to what happened over the last year and a half. Chris Jones was here, but Jerry Jackson part of it too. It took him a while to go to Trey Ford. They don't like Trey Ford. they like MBT.
They do not like Trey Ford.
Coming up next, it is the Lock Shop, Dusty and Huss, and then at noon, 2 guys and a goalie. Dusty, Gage, Cass, they will recap more and get more into the Oilers not matching the offer sheets of Philip Broberg and Dylan Holloway, who are now members of the St. Louis Blues. And the big announcement from Edmonton Sports Talk today, Hernan Salas, Joaquin Gage, it is a new show coming to Edmonton Sports Talk, EST afternoons from 1 until 3. That starts the Tuesday
Gage are going to
after
stay on
Labor
2
Day.
guys in a goal?
Yep.
He has to.
Yeah, there's an hour.
Where are they going to find a goalie?
That's a good question. Dean, thanks for coming in. No
problem.
Zach, fine work. You have time to now figure out how you're going to respond to Clausen.
23 and a half hours.
Nothing's held against you if you choose to just back away and retract your claim against Clausen.
Don't believe him when he says that.
I won't hold it against him if he realizes that he can't do it. The fact that he said, I don't have anything to say right now, doesn't bode well for a rap battle, but that's just me. Thanks for tuning in to the EST Hangout here on your clear choice for Edmonton Sports Talk on behalf of Zacticum. Dean, I am Matt. Thanks for tuning in. And like I said, Lock Shop coming up in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Look at this. Let's go.
There you go, right in front of the camera.
First time guest, long time listener, fan of the original draft commissioner.
Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by White Claw Hard Seltzer. The difference is clear. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Zola with here, joining us today.